talk to him, make sure you mention that it happened over 2 years.
4-0 Midwest City Bombers. Antonio Brown is number 3, a 6-foot Highlanders. Boy, did he have a big game. Accounted for 5 touchdowns the last time Midwest City was on the Cox Channel. 5'10", 195 pounds. The star running back for Midwest City. 672 yards rushing, 90 yards receiving. He has 9 touchdowns on the season. And the quarterback to start the game will be Vershawn Moore. Also can play some wide receiver if they mix it up a little bit. 5'10", 175 pounds for Vershawn Moore. 16 of 29 passing this season for 213 yards. Also has a couple of touchdowns. And one thing you're going to be hearing about with Midwest City all night tonight, Rod, is speed. It's all over the place. And all those guys, they can run.
They can run. So it will be interesting how Edmond Memorial matches up with them. Let's take a look at some of the guys that want to stop that Midwest City offense, the Edmond Memorial prime-time players. And we'll start with Anthony Morales, 6 foot, 200 pounds, linebacker, and will have some duty at running back, has 38 tackles on the season, also 4 sacks. They'll need him to really be active from that linebacker position. Number 99, Billy Lathrop, 6 foot, 230 pounds, defensive tackle. Hey, he has 17 tackles on the season. He also has 6 sacks, so defense really will have to step up for Edmond Memorial. This guy here, wide receiver, defensive back, Kendrick Green, 5'11", 140 pounds. He is that main go-to threat out of that receiver position. 15 receptions, 164 yards. Also has 1 TD on the season. And we talked about this guy, the quarterback, Pete Towns, 6 foot, 210. He will put the ball on the ground, will try to rush it a lot, has 118 yards rushing. Passing, look at him, 590 yards, has 6 TDs. So they look for him to have a big game tonight against this team of Midwest City. And we talked about that speed. As you see, we highlight a lot of defensive players. How important is the defense going to be for Edmond Memorial to contain that speed of Midwest City?
It's going to be key because if you can't contain that speed, they will run you out of the building. And Midwest City's put up some impressive point totals so far this season. So Edmond Memorial, that will be the key for them on defense because they've got skilled players all over the place. Talking about Midwest City, Pete Town, the guy you just mentioned, that is a really good football player. He is going to be key on offense for Edmond Memorial because that speed that Midwest City has, it goes both ways. It's on offense and defense. Pete Town has to be a leader tonight.
And Coach Walker doing a great job. Remember coming over here and they were just trying to get wins, and now he has them going 1-0 in district. They'll look to go to 2-0 tonight. We'll take another break here on High School Primetime. When we come back, we'll bring Tim and Steve back in, get some more insight about the game, and get you ready for the opening kickoff. You're watching High School Primetime here on the Cox Channel.
City this year, they're a very talented football team. Edmond Memorial, they were hoping for big things this year, got off to a slow start, but it looks as though they may have turned the corner.
Well, they played pretty well in their rival football games coming out of the gate. They lost both of those games by a total of 6 points, and they rebounded very well. Mark Walker in his 5th year has got his team playing extremely well coming into tonight's game, including coming right off a 39-point victory over strong Norman football team. So they feel very good about what they're doing, but they're going to have to play well tonight because Midwest City may be the most talented team on the west side of the state.
Great speed, offense, and defense, and they are very, very tough. Vershawn Moore is the quarterback for Midwest City. They'll try to keep it on the ground as much as they possibly can. And for Edmond Memorial, Pete Town has had 2 great games in a row. He'll look for a 3rd tonight as it's Midwest City and Edmond Memorial. We'll get the starting lineups and the kickoff right after this. Cox Channel. Let's take a look at those 6A2 standings. We saw a big game last night that saw Westmore fall to Putnam City. The Pirates unbeaten. And there you see number 2 and 3, both 1-0 in district tonight. Midwest City and Edmond Memorial. Very critical contest here tonight, and whoever wins this game, Tim, is tied atop those standings.
Well, yeah, it's to the point now where you just have to keep pace, and Midwest City is certainly capable of doing that, but Edmond is capable of beating them, and to be 2-0 in district, you look at those records, 2-2, that could have easily been 4-0 for the Bulldogs, and now they've got to trying to keep up with Putnam City, who has surprisingly come out of the gate extremely strong against 2 of the better district foes.
All right, we'll take a timeout, and we will come back and get ready for the kickoff right here on the Cox Channel. Midwest City and Edmond Memorial right after this.
Blake Jackson, hey, let us know that scouting report for tonight's matchup.
All right, thanks, Rod. It's hard to mention the Midwest City Bombers without mentioning Tim and John Flanders, the Flanders brothers. Younger brother Tim is the running back for the team. He's averaging almost 10 yards per carry so far this season, has 8 touchdowns through 4 games. You don't have to be a genius to do the math. That's 2 touchdowns a game. Midwest City has played very well against their opponents. They're 4-0. They're probably, with the exception maybe Norman North, the best team on the west side. Another one of the big strengths for Midwest City is their team speed. The Flander boys are great. John Flanders is great on defense, but defensively as a whole, have great team speed and can get to the ball. They've allowed just 55 total points through 4 games. And then also, there's a quarterback platoon, and what you're going to see is Vershawn Moore, the senior, playing most of the snaps. He's more of a running threat, but when they need to throw the ball, look to them to go to Jace Chilcote to throw the ball, and he has 173 yards and 2 touchdowns passing for Midwest City, so that's what you can expect to see from the Bombers tonight.
All right, should be interesting scouting report. What do you see for Edmond Memorial?
Well, if Edmond Memorial is going to pull off this upset, they're going to need to ride on the shoulders of Pete Town, the quarterback. Pete started off the season a little bit slow, but has come on to throw for 590 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, and even though he has 6 interceptions, he also has 4 rushing touchdowns. So it's really important for Pete Town to come on for the Bulldogs, and he has to stay consistent. That's the key, because he has showed a little inconsistently in the first couple of games. Offensive inconsistency, a bigger point, is very important for the Bulldogs. They're going to need to stay consistent. In the first 2 games, they lost 9-6 to each of their Edmond rivals. So it's important they come out and score. Last week, they blew away Norman 49-10. Look for the Bulldogs to come out with a little bit more offensive intensity tonight. And then finally, their strength is on defense. If they're going to stop the Flanders boys, they're going to have to rely on the defense. They're strong against the run. They've only allowed, or they have yet to allow 100 rushing yards in a game. So as they take on Tim Flanders, who has averaged well more than 100 yards a game, they're going to need to stop them there.
Well, there's our News OK scouting report. Blake Jackson. Blake, we appreciate the time. We'll check with you at halftime to see how the scouting report is going.
Thanks, Rod.
All right, back up to you, Steve.
All right, thank you very much. Midwest City will get the ball first as we get ready to start things. Kick into the end zone, and so the Bombers will start at 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. You got the scouting reports. We have already seen Midwest City once this year as they were able to take down the Moore Lions. There are the numbers on Vershawn Moore. Obviously more of a running threat than the passing threat, although he can throw the football. And the Bombers, of course, have been just racking up huge numbers on offense. And right away they go to the air, and this pass is intended out on the far side. Out there intended for number 18, Kevin Gass. That is incomplete. Let's take a look at the Bomber offense. The big guys up front, Tyler Munoz and Rich Gorniak, Jess Eddy, Nate Truman, and Steven Salisbury. Guys at the skill positions, the tight end is Dylan Tribble. Kevin Gaddis just had the pass attempted for him. Eric Jackson leads the team in receiving. Antonio Brown, Timothy Flanders, who is, Blake mentioned, 10 yards per carry, and the quarterback, Vershawn Moore. Second down give up the middle, and not much there as the Edmond Bulldog defense is right there to make the stop as we check the Bulldog defense for Edmond Memorial. Carl Robinson, Zach Wilson, Billy Lathrop is the leader on that defensive line. Matt Woodliff, and Logan Thomas. Keegan Grooms leads the team in tackles. Anthony Morales and Zach Blasdell. David James, Weston Ingram, and Kaven Samuels. Third down, 9 coming up for the Bombers. Fake the handoff, quarterback keeper, and the Bulldogs will have none of it. And what a way to start the game for the Edmond defense, Tim.
Well, you know, there's so much talk about the town on Midwest City, and Edmond really does feel like they're coming into their own. There's not a lot of teams that are going to try to run a little option play on 3rd down and 9, and Midwest City is capable of picking up first downs doing that, but Edmond, as you said, Steve, was right there to make the play. Anthony
Morales, one of the leaders on that defensive squad, so a 3 and out apparently for Midwest City, and that is exactly what the doctor would have ordered for Mark Walker and his Edmond Memorial Bulldogs. The punt is straight up in the air. It goes nowhere. Takes a good bounce for Midwest City and will settle at the Bomber 39-yard line. That is a 19-yard punt, 1st and 10. Great field position for the Bulldogs.
Well, it's a pretty good start for the Dogs right here to be on the 39-yard line. There is some wind tonight. Flanders was having to kick into the wind to try to get that punt, but it went off the side of his foot. And now if you're Mark Walker, things are going just the way you want to. The question is, do you go up top right now, try to make something happen on a big play, or you stick to your plan of ball control offense, which is what they wanted to do tonight?
There are the numbers on Pete Town. As you see, he throws it, he runs it as well, and he's been successful, especially the last 2 games, doing both. First down play will get him about 5 yards inside the 35, down to about the 34-yard line. Let's take a look at the Bulldog offense. Davis Woodall up front, along with Chris Toller and Danny Williams, Chaz Jones, and Dylan Kirkendall. Taylor Whiteside, Jordan Marshevsky, Kendrick Green, David James, Shane Roll, and the quarterback is Pete Town. Give him 6 on that first down carry. 2nd and 4. Town, straight ahead give, will get about 2 or 3 yards. And the ball carrier there is number 18, and that is Shane Roll. Here's the Bomber defense. Zesmond White, Willie Moore, Michael Moody, Russell Brown, and Jordan Tyner. And those guys are big, fast, and talented. Cameron Stewart returned a interception for a touchdown last week. Emmanuel Maxwell, John Flanders, he's an all-stater, Antonio Brown, Timothy Flanders, and Dominique Barnes-Carn. 3rd down 4, and we've got a penalty flag. Bulldogs say the Bombers jumped off sides. And
dead ball, encroachment, White.
Here's a look at our officiating crew for this evening. That'll be a first down for the Edmond Memorial Bulldogs. A first down, new set of downs inside the Midwest City 30.
Mark Walker looking things over out there, saying, Pete, just manage the clock, manage the game. A lot of good quarterbacks don't do that very well. They're talented, they got a good arm, they got good feet and can run, but a lot of times quarterbacks don't manage the game well, and a lot of successful guys may not be quite as talented, but they make plays because they manage the game well.
Went for the quick slant play, but the Bombers, John Flanders, was waiting for that and nearly had an interception.
Yeah, that was another solid play by this Midwest City defense. You know, we've seen them this year when we saw them play more. They gave up some plays once in a while. I mean, they did have some breakdowns from time to time, but a lot of game plans, you have to do that to teams that are this physical. And they're not only physical, they're fast as well as being big.
It's a great combination. You can have
it's pretty good.
Both of those things there. I don't know that you can ask for much more. Town on a quarterback keeper tries the right side. He'll get a yard, 2 perhaps, and that is it.
Well, you see Cameron Stewart there, 6'1", 220, just a junior at linebacker. We called his name a lot last time that we played him, and you could see Coach Steve Huff right there. He's an intense guy, and he's talking to the officials a little bit, saying, hey, you know, keep your eye out for this. And good coaches will do that. They'll let officials know, hey, we see something out there that shouldn't be right, so let's keep your eye out on it. And that's when you start seeing a few more penalty flags.
3rd down, just about 10 to go. Inside Midwest City territory after a 3-and-out. Straight reverse, and that's not going to go very far against this defense. And Cameron Stewart is there once again for a loss that now may have taken them out of field goal range.
Well, there's sometimes you have players that are good enough at that linebacker position that you can really spotlight them in a defense. And Cameron Stewart is that kind of guy. They can move him around. You know, he can spy on some of the backs or the quarterbacks there because he's got the speed to pursue extremely well. And Edmond has a very good kicking game, but I don't know if they've got 50 yards worth out of him here tonight.
Timeout on the field. They want to talk about it. We will take a timeout ourselves and continue our coverage here on the Cox Channel. No Score right after this.
In Oklahoma,
Out of the shotgun. 4-down territory right down the middle. They got the play they wanted, but it's just a little overthrown. One-on-one coverage, and Roll, the receiver, had beaten his man, but just a little overthrown. That might be something they come back to later on, but the 4th down not being able to convert will turn it right back over to Midwest City as you take a look.
That was a good call. They had caught the linebacker there in coverage, and you can get your receiver out with that matchup. A lot of coaches like to see that. Gives you a little bit more speed against a linebacker that's having to just react and check his coverage and then catch up to the pass pattern. But as you said, Steve, a couple of feet too long, and Midwest City holds them to only about a 7-yard gain on that drive.
Here's the give in the backfield as Midwest City gets the ball there to Timothy Flanders, who has really just been short of sensational. 9.7 yards per carry. That's unheard of.
Well, we saw him score five touchdowns, 4 on offense and 1 on defense earlier this year, and he is a kid that can just do it all. His brother's pretty good too. You know, and they've got a defensive line that puts so much pressure on the quarterback. It really makes makes it a little bit easier on the secondary.
Flanders again into the secondary, and then some. Can they catch him? Tim Flanders down the sideline, caught from behind and drugged down, but not before he gets down inside the 15-yard line in Edmond Memorial territory.
We'll give a lot of credit to free safety or strong safety Weston Ingram for keeping up with Flanders. There's not a lot of guys that do that very well. Very simple play just off the left side. Sometimes you just need to get it into your best player's hands, and that's what they're doing here. And Weston stays with him and is able to save a touchdown with that tackle.
49-yard run. for Tim Flanders. So held to 3 on his first carry and 49 on the next. And he'll get it straight up the gut and into the end zone. Touchdown, Midwest City. That didn't take long. Flanders outside twice, inside the third time, and all that did was cover 68 yards of a touchdown.
Now you're going to go back and see the game of inches there, and the Midwest City defense really kind of kept that thing, kept that drive going, because if they don't make the stops that they needed to play, all of a sudden Midwest City doesn't get the ball back, and you can see how the game turns. It's a game of inches, Steve. You get 1 foot of an overthrow, turns into 6 points for Midwest City.
That's something else. So Flanders takes it the distance. That is his 9th touchdown or 10th touchdown. He has one receiving as well.
Sideline warning on Memorial.
Obviously quite a talent as we see the extra point team on the field. Jordan Turner takes care of those duties for Midwest City. Kind of like those shoes, Tim.
Well, they're golden toe.
Snap back, ball down, kick on the way, up and through. And the Bombers on a quick 3-play, 68-yard drive, 49 of those coming on one Tim Flanders run, who then takes it the final 17. And Midwest City is on top just like that, 7-0.
Well, and when you've got guys that can make plays like that so quickly, it's so difficult to play. You cannot take any downs off, and I'm not saying that's what Edmond did. Midwest City executes this offense extremely well. They really haven't done anything different for many, many years. You know, I mean, a lot of teams are playing this multiple spread, and all that really does is spread the defense a little bit, and then you can do anything you want out of it. Midwest City's tendency is to run the ball, and they do it extremely well.
Hey, coming up tonight after the game on Oklahoma's Cox Channel, join Mike Wolf and Curtis Fitzpatrick for Sports Night Oklahoma. Friday night, you can always count on all the football scores from around the state. Midwest City, who went 3 and out, that Bulldog defense looked very tough and was trying to set the tone for the rest of the game. And next time Midwest City gets the ball, it's 3 and 68 yards and a touchdown. Short kick, going to be taken right at the 12-yard line by the Bulldogs, and as soon as he catches the football, he is taken down. Return man was Kayvon Samuels, and he did not get very far. Here's a look at the scoring drive. First play, Flanders gets outside and takes it. That was a 49-yard run all the way down to the 17. Hurry up, catch your breath, and then take it in the end zone, son.
Well, they're pretty good at that. And Flanders gets his home away from home, which is the end zone, and I think we had a flag down on that on the kickoff. Didn't get a chance to talk too much about it, but what a great hit that was on the kickoff coverage there.
Very much so.
I didn't see exactly who it was. It was either Rashawn Davis or DeAndre Smith. Both those guys were in on it, but somebody made a hit right away, and it was solid, knocking the Bulldogs into tough field position.
Town at quarterback will keep it. The middle is clogged. He tries to spin out of there, and he's going to lose 2 yards.
You look across this Midwest City defense, and you've got guys that are 6'6" and 240. You got guys that are 6 foot and 290.
Yep.
I mean, it's just, you know, you try to find a weakness somewhere, and there's just not a lot of it over there. They can just, man, you can see it. You watch them how they are pursuing the ball. They're disguising coverages a little bit. They're trying to get the offensive line out of rhythm a little just by jumping around out there, and they got to keep it legal, but they can dominate a game. And they sure dominated that play.
They are dominating so far here early. Let's take a look at the Midwest City defensive report. And as we said, they are double tough this year. Rushing yards per game allowed. Passing, not very many. Just 13.7 points per game given up. Jordan Tyner leads the team in tackles with 24.
Third down and 15 for the Bulldogs.
Well, it's going to be hard to keep Midwest City under 14 points a game if you're playing against them.
Yep.
So the defense, you know, they don't have to go shut people out. You know, they're a team that's balanced enough both offensively and defensively that they're going to score 3-4 times in a game. So, you know, the defense can keep the guys around 2 scores. They're going to do pretty well.
3rd and 15, trying to hook up down the middle of the field once again. Incomplete. Let's go down to Rod Thompson.
Hey guys, down here on the sideline, and Steve, you talked about how the Edmond Memorial, we talk about all the support that these two teams have. Edmond Memorial, they have a white out over here. Everybody is dressed in white to get ready for this district matchup, and if you look on the other side, Midwest City, hey, I guess they will have a call what you call a blackout. All black shirts over there. You see a couple of yellow shirts really standing out over there. But great support for both of these teams, both of these communities coming out. And as you can tell down here, the atmosphere on the sideline with both teams, you can really tell how big this game is. And Edmond has to get some kind of offense going pretty quick because this Midwest City team is really explosive. Back up to you.
All right, thank you very much. The punt will stop dead at the Edmond Memorial 47-yard line. Get great field position for the Bombers as they start their next possession. There's a good look at what Rod was talking about, the whiteout that is going on. About 15 years ago, Tim, you talked Midwest City and Edmond Memorial before schools broke off and everything else. These were two, throw Norman in there, of the big powerhouses in the state.
Well, we didn't hear a lot of split on East and West back at that time. You saw good teams all over the state, but these two were perennial semifinalists at least, and sometimes played each other for state titles. And you go back to the Gundy brothers and the Allens and so many great players on both sides of the ball or of the city, and just you miss those days, but when you split schools, you've seen Carl Albert over Midwest City really bring up their level of play over recent years, and then you look at Edmond, and you split the three schools, you're really always going to have a hard time keeping things up.
Some of the guys that have played at Midwest City, and there's a lot more in that group too that we're missing, because there's a couple of them that are playing collegiately, and
Mike Gundy, who's 40, Cale Gundy, not quite 40, Brewster Hobby, he's
Twice.
More than 40. He might have graduated in 40. He's my buddy, though.
That's right.
Love Brewster Hobby, and I got to give it up too to my friend Jim Wade. He's my banker. He'll say he was a famous Midwest City Bomber too. I'm not so sure if that's really the case or not.
All right, third down and 8-9 yards. Steve Huff, the coach, second year for Midwest City, looks on. Vershawn Moore hands it up the middle, and the Bulldog defense stops him again. And so 3 plays from scrimmage, and all they're able to come up with is about 2 yards. Good job by the Bulldog defense.
Well, those are 2 very good series. They can look back on that, and one of the things that we talked about, keys to the game beforehand, was you cannot give up big plays, and that's really all Edmond has done. They've given up 2 plays, and one was a 49-yard run and one was for a touchdown. Other than that, their defense has been solid against a very good offensive football team.
This punt will be taken right at the 16-yard line. Some good running room up the middle, and a nice return there by number 34, David James, for the Bulldogs, and they will start 1st and 10 from their own 36-yard line.
We haven't really seen too many big plays in special teams this year. We haven't seen anything returned for a touchdown yet. It's maybe tonight will be our night.
Hey, don't forget, of course, if you forgot to set your DVR for tonight's game, you can always go to Cox On Demand. All you have to do is hit the On Demand button on your remote and select Channel 1. Go to Cox Local and find all the high school football games that we've done so far this season on demand. Another reason more customers choose Cox as their entertainment provider. Quick pass caught on the near side. David James again on the receiving end of that. Nice little game. We'll get him out to about the 43-yard line and bring up 3rd and 3.
If they can keep the clock moving like that and pick up that 7 yards, nice pickup for the Bulldogs. Nothing fancy, just taking advantage of knowing what they want to do. Defense on their heels a little bit.
2nd down, 3. Pass is deflected at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 3. As Tim mentioned, as we talked about at the top of the broadcast, Memorial had a lot of expectations coming into this season. Their very first 2 games were their 2 Edlin battles, and they lost both games to North and Santa Fe by identical 9-6 scores. So that's not getting off to the start that you want, but since then they have put it on Del City and really put it on Norman last week, 49-10. Option, right side pitch to roll. Look for that 1st down marker. And boy, when that play started, Tim, I thought that looks good. He's going to get a 1st down, but that Bomber defense is right there in a hurry.
Well, this is where people get a little bit of the wrong idea sometimes. They see teams that do this against a lesser team, and they think, man, these guys are really good. And then they see a team that's got the speed like the Bombers have, and you don't look so good. Yeah. And it's not that you're doing anything different. It's just what you're going up against is a very superior opponent. And when you saw the speed and the pursuit on that play, that makes you realize there's a lot of D1 players on that defense down there.
Punting situation again for the Bulldogs, and they fake it. They keep it up the middle, and it looks like they've got enough. gutsy call. And I do believe that they have it there as they fake the punt. They get it to the up man, number 36 for the Bulldogs. That's Davis King, the junior fullback. And they do get the first down, and that's a big play for Mark Walker.
Didn't even measure it, you know, and you kind of get the feeling right here that you've got an Edmond team that understands they're going to have to go for broke a little bit on certain plays. That's a great time to do it. You know, they're towards the middle of the field. Now the officials are talking about it a little bit. I don't know if they want to take a look at a measurement. The official gave him the first down.
Look at Steve Huff. Steve Huff is saying,
yeah,
why won't
you don't even want to measure? Sure. I mean, you want to be sure, and that's he has a legitimate, I think that's a legitimate argument for a coach to make.
Yeah. Just
to say, hey, look, let's at least look at it. And you see coaches today, sometimes they'll do that, trying to slow down the pace of the game a little bit, maybe hold off the momentum, but the referee has felt good about it. Here come the Bulldogs.
Town pump fake, going deep down the sideline. Coverage is all over it. Did he come down inbounds? No, incomplete.
No, very athletic play, just the same. Wasn't able to pull it in, but that was one heck of a catch. Dominique Barnes-Karn. We called his name a couple times tonight.
And just like, you know, we mentioned the speed on defense, but on a slow, high, you know, trajectory pass, all that does is give Midwest City more time to recover if they were initially beat.
Right.
And he recovers in good shape and has great position.
And the receiver never had position on that play. It looked as if he got slowed up a little bit in the middle of the route. The ball may have been thrown right where it was supposed to be, but the receiver couldn't get there.
Here's Town keeping himself, and he pulls ahead forward for a first down. Pete Town with a good carry inside Bomber territory.
It would be interesting to know what kind of package Mark Walker put together for this. You know, I don't know that Edmond feels like they can go in and say, we're going to do what we always do in this football game. I think you're going to have some finesse and some misdirection stuff, and to see what Town has done. He's been a productive quarterback for several years up here, and kind of waited his turn for the team to come around. They easily could have had a winning record last year. Probably got knocked out of the playoffs. Last game of the late loss to UConn, but they were 5-5 and did a good job to get there.
Shane Roll gets some nice yardage up the middle inside the Bomber 40-yard line, down to about the 37. That'll bring up second down and 4.
On the play.
Rushing the football, the leading rusher of the team is Roll with 148 yards on the season. Town is next at 118. So they've done a lot of their damage through the air. And Town is going to keep it, try for first down yardage. Good hard running. A little short, but gets them closer. And Mr. Town is going to have his work cut out for him tonight, because he's going to be chased, harassed, and beaten up all night long.
Well, and we saw a third-team running back for Moore a few weeks ago go up against this Midwest City team, and bless his heart, he was just absolutely demolished all night long, and he was still plugging away, doing the best he could. And forgive me, I can't remember his name, but this Midwest City defense is just very physical.
Town, direct snap, keeps it, has first down yardage down to the 25-yard line. Let's go down once again to Ron Thompson on the sidelines.
Hey guys, down here on the Edmond Memorial sideline, one thing Coach Martin Walker talked about his keys to the game being was control the clock on offense. And you see on this drive what they've been able to do with Town, throwing it in the air a little bit, but him tucking the ball, being able to run. He said we have to keep that defense off the field because that offense of Midwest City is so explosive. Doing a good job right now, working some clock and getting good yards in position to score. Back over to you, Steve.
New set of downs for the Bulldogs at the Midwest City 25-yard line. Roll gets the handoff in the backfield. Does well to get past the line of scrimmage. Forward progress will probably give him about a gain of 1.
And you see, that was a tough 1-yard gain. I mean, he had a little bit of a seam. He tried to break through it, and then he gets turned around. And once one of those guys gets a hold of you on that defense, several guys start hitting you, and that's where you can really, that's where you wake up with bruises in the morning.
Yeah, you know if you get a hand on a guy, slow him down. Help is going to be there real soon.
Yep.
Second down, long 9. Nobody takes the quarterback on the option play, and Town just keeps it, and he's forward for another first down.
Yeah, you can see here comes, just waits patiently. He's got a back behind him maintaining a pitch relationship, but nobody needs to because they didn't pick up the quarterback, and they are successfully moving the football.
All the way down now inside the 15-yard line. Leading receiver on the team is Kendrick Green. He has 15 catches on the season. Kayvon Hardy also with 10 receptions. Town 4 carries 33 yards on this drive in particular. And we've got a whistle and a stop here. Coach Walker is demonstrating something to the linesman there as he was shuttling and running backwards. I didn't see what it was, but I just caught the end of Coach Walker in his demonstration. Football player up at OSU in the early 90s. Nice run there for number 6. That's Kendrick Green on a little bit of a reverse. And it looks like the first quarter is going to come to a close here. Midwest City got the only touchdown of the first half. Timothy Flanders with his 10th touchdown of the season. Bombers on top, 7-0. Second down and 5. Town. Option right, keeps it. He'll get 2, 3 perhaps. He needs to get down to the 5-yard line to get a first down.
This is where great defenses start to tighten up a little bit. And Midwest City, we've seen, they'll give up a play here or there, but this is a tough place to score. You know, you have less yardage to work with. There's less open space. And so now you've got to be able to be diverse in your offensive setup. And Edmond has methodically moved down the field here, and they're just going to have to count on that offensive line to open up some big holes for them. And
Anthony Morales made it look easy.
Well, that offensive line did a great job on that play and that entire drive. The dogs down in the trenches there just really opened up some nice holes there, and that could have gone for a lot more if it had to. And Mark Walker, you know, now that the game is tied, obviously he's got a little bit of a different complexion, but we commented off the air, that was a really good first quarter for the Bulldogs.
It really was.
And they were down because they gave up a couple of big plays, but if you're trying to have a game plan of controlling the clock, and you know, they did 50% of what they wanted to, and the offensive line is moving people off the ball.
7-7 our score, just underway here in the second quarter. We got the makings of a dandy here at Wanland Stadium. We'll be right back. It can do so very often, but a very impressive, methodical, long drive for the Bulldogs, and we're all tied up. Kick will go back into the end zone. They let them run it out, however. And up the middle, look out! Off to the races. Kerry Wallace, actually it's Flanders, John Flanders, and he'll take it the distance.
I got to tell you, that's got to be a controversial play at the moment. We saw last night almost an identical, and I guess it's a judgment call by the officials, but when that ball goes into the end zone right there, they cannot run it out. You cannot bring the ball out. Now, I don't know if the rule is if it's beyond the goal line, if the ball makes it beyond the goal line or breaks the plane, or if you just have a foot in the end zone, but when that takes place,
wow,
we've seen games where they did not allow that ball to be run out.
When you look at the paper tomorrow and it says a 101-yard kickoff return, you're going to say, I didn't think they could do that. But
can't do that in this level.
He had 1 foot clearly in the end zone, and the other half was on the line and also in the end zone. But obviously, there's some interpretation that we don't have right there. But just like that, the Bombers are back on top, 14-7. We'll be right back. A touchdown, and then apparently we had some discussion as to whether that was a ball that was able to be returned. We have a sideline penalty called against Edmond Memorial, and so they will push the kickoff back from Midwest City to the Bomber 45-yard line.
Well, Mark Walker was making his case, and he has a legitimate case, I think. There was a foot in the end zone when that ball was caught, and we need to get an interpretation of the rule, exactly what it is, but I believe it's just a judgment call of the official on whether that ball has crossed the plane or not, and if it does, they cannot advance that kickoff, and in this case, it cost them a touchdown.
Now, if you rewind the tape, I'm sure you're going to find Mr. Marshall is saying, well, that kicks into the end zone, no return. Here comes Flanders taking off down the field, because I clearly thought that there was no way that was going to be a returnable football.
Well, the argument that Mark Walker was making to the official at the break was that not only did he catch it in the end zone, he caught the ball and he turned and looked at the official before he started running, and then he took off. And, you know, give credit to Flanders. John Flanders did a great job running the football back. It's just we're not certain whether you could in that case or not.
There you see number 47 on the Edmond Memorial Bulldogs helmets. That's in memory of a deceased former Bulldog football player, Sean Kyle, who graduated last year, was tragically killed during a construction accident during the off-season, and they are remembering him, who was a very good football player for this Bulldog football team for many years. Tragically passed during the summer in a construction accident. That was number 47, Sean Kyle, so they are commemorating his memory in that way. Cameron Stewart, who you get a look at right there, making the play for the Bomber defense. And now a 2nd and 9 coming up for the Bulldogs. Talk about getting the wind taken out of your sails. Nice time-consuming drive, just the way you want to draw it up. You get the touchdown and kick it off to one of the Flanders guys, and you're thrown back for a 101-yard return. And now we've got a penalty flag thrown on the far side of the field, and we'll wait and get the call on that.
Looks like they may have another inadvertent face mask on that play, but you know, this is where the coaching staff for Edmond has to settle their guys in. You know, they've got to say it may not have been fair, but nobody said life was fair. This is what it is. So you've got to regroup, you've got to be poised and come back and just do the things that were so successful for you earlier in the game.
Inadvertent face mask. White.
2nd down and 9 for the Bulldogs.
Take a look again, see if you can pick it up. There's Roll trying to get to the outside. And right there, that was more than a 5-yarder in my book.
Ouch. That's a scary penalty. You know, when when somebody gets their head ripped apart like that, that's scary stuff.
Pass is complete. Nice grab there. Coming up with the football, Kendrick Green. And that'll be good enough for a Bulldog first down.
Kendrick Green, he's one of the key players on this Edmond team. This kid is a real playmaker for me. You can see right there, he just goes out and beats Flanders to the ball. He just said, I want this thing, and he goes to get it.
And John Flanders is probably one of those guys that suffers a little bit from the Deion Sanders syndrome. Is, you know, he doesn't probably get very many interceptions, but probably because a lot of guys don't want to throw his way. Dangerous whenever you do so. Here's Town on the keeper. Straight ahead, he'll get 3 or 4 yards. You know, you always looked, if you didn't know any better, Sanders was a corner, and if you didn't follow football real close, well, he doesn't make many tackles. He doesn't end up with a lot of interceptions, but that was because nobody ever threw his way.
Right. Yeah, those shutdown guys are good to have on your defense. Okay, let me read this to you, Steve.
All right, I'm listening.
On a touchback, it is a touchback if any free kick or scrimmage kick, which is not a scoring attempt or which is a grounded 3-point field goal attempt, breaks the plane of the receiver's goal line unless the receiver chooses a spot of first touching by the kicking team. You understand what that means?
I'm not quite sure. Screen pass is going to get first down yardage. Nice reception there by Carl Robinson. Then the Bulldogs starting to put some offense together. Take a look at that. I want to hear that again.
This is exactly what the Bulldogs are wanting to do. Look at that. Town just throws off his back foot a little bit, but gets it right out there to his open man and does a good job picking up yardage. Basically, the key words you want to read there are breaks the plane of the receiver's goal line. And the judgment call the official has to make is when he catches that ball, not if its foot is in the end zone. This is how I interpret this. If the ball broke the plane. And you got to, I guess you have to say the official's right there in the goal line checking for that to happen. So it's a judgment call, and this time it worked out for the Bombers.
Well, if you think about it from the other aspect, if you're a ball carrier, your knees may be down on the 2-yard line, your chest on the 1, no part of your body is in the end zone, but if you extend the ball over the plane of the goal, you're awarded a touchdown.
Exactly. And Flanders did exactly the right thing. He took the ball and he took off running with it, which is what you should do in that case, because you wait, if the whistle blows, then the play's dead, let the official make that call, and you know, he took advantage of the situation.
We might ask Jerry and the guys to rewind that maybe at halftime or something to see if Edmond Memorial maybe let up on their kick coverage team, thinking that it was going to be a touchback. But right now, a 2nd and 12 coming up for the Bulldogs, trailing 14-7. Quick slant, stepping right in front and taking it away. And I believe that is Tim Flanders. And he... See who it was? Yeah, it was. And he was sitting on that, Tim.
Yeah, he was reading the quarterback's eyes, and he came right in front of the play. Just a beautiful defensive play. You can't do it any better. Town is a quick slant, so Town really doesn't have to have time to look a receiver off, so he's just going to go right to his primary target there. But Flanders just broke on the ball beautifully and set it up. And, you know, that's one thing that quarterbacks, as you move up in each level, that's the hardest thing for them to get used to, is the closing speed of the defensive secondary.
Bombers take over right at midfield. 1st and 10. And Flanders this time goes nowhere.
Yeah, you know, this has been a very good game, I think, for the offensive and the defensive line of the Bulldogs. They're going up against, and it's a given that, you know, Midwest City is going to play tough on both sides of the ball in the interior lines, but I don't know if anybody expected Edmond to go toe-to-toe with them like this.
Maybe a half yard on the 1st down carry. Vershawn Moore rolling right, throwing the football. Flag comes from the line judge. The pass is complete, but hold everything. Let's take a look at the critical needs for that Edmond Memorial defense and how they're going to play things here this evening. First, we'll look at that and then check at the flag. Rushing yards per game, doing a good job. Passing, pretty good. You're only giving up 205 yards a contest. Your defense is doing some things right, obviously, and only giving up 10 points per game. And Anthony Morales is your leading tackler. He is a transfer from Edmond North.
Well, you know, they've got better numbers than Midwest City has. You know, as far as points per game and total yards allowed, Edmond's defense has played extremely well.
Got the penalty flag against the Bombers. Talking it over with the Memorial captains. And we'll get the... They're still talking about it out there. Mark Walker is the head coach. Here's the call from the official. Block below the knees is a infraction called against the Bombers. Midwest City defense is run by Justin Meredith. Now, he graduated from Midwest City, and he was a member of that last Midwest City team to win a state championship. So this is one of those games where, you know, he wants to show the old neighborhood that he's made good.
That's right.
But the neighborhood doesn't want him to show that he's made real good.
How do you like me now?
Strength and conditioning coach, offensive line coach for the Bombers is Tom Ward, along the head man at Bishop McGinnis. Here's an option to the right side. Get it to Flanders. When in doubt, give it to Flanders.
Yeah.
And a good job by that Bulldog defense as he only gets a couple.
You never go wrong. Well, I shouldn't say never, but you usually don't go wrong. The percentages are with you when you get the ball into your top players' hands. You see a lot of teams at the end of a football game, if they're down, that's what they're going to do. They're going to default back to that position. It's, you know, it's not the play itself, it's the playmaker that they look to get the ball to.
Came into the contest averaging 9.7 yards a carry. And you can get stopped for 2 yards and 4 yards, but when you mix it in with a 79 or a 62-yard run, pass incomplete there, that usually keeps your average up pretty well, and a good stand by the Bulldogs.
Yeah, another good stand. And, you know, we saw Chilcote come into the game. Last time we saw Midwest City play, gave him a little bit of a change of pace. Maybe a stronger passer than Vershawn Moore is. And they did a lot of good things when they were working their passing package, but that was a dangerous play on that screen trying to get that set up. But when you're having to zip a ball in there on a screen pass, that's not, it usually means the play's not going exactly the way you drew it up.
Punting situation. Kick is away. Goes off Midwest City helmet.
Seiko.
Now that's all the way down to the 11. Now if I'm Coach Walker, I'm saying he touched the ball at about the 30.
Yeah.
It goes off his helmet all the way down to the 11. That would be under the category of fortuitous bounce.
I was wishing Paul Blair was here again. This reminds me of '83. Boing.
Now can you practice that?
You never want to get kicked in the head in practice or anything. That's, you know, that's as long as it didn't hurt you too bad, you know, people will laugh that one off a little bit in the film room. But.
You know, if you get yourself a couple of soccer players, one's the punter, and you kick it high straight up in the air, and you get a guy at about 30 yards downfield, and he can go up and head it down another 15 yards. That might be something you need to look into.
It's hard to see that ball.
That's going to get about 6 yards up the middle. Good job by the Edmond defense, or the Edmond offensive line. Edmond defense, 4 possessions really for Midwest City. 1, they scored a touchdown. They got the kickoff return for a touchdown. So the other 3 possessions, Bulldog defense has done their job.
Well, and one of the things that helps you with is the offense has kept using some clock. They've gotten a couple of first downs on their drives, and that gets your defense the rest that they need when they get back out on the field. And you hated to see that big return for a touchdown if you're the Edmond team, but your offense is giving your defense a good balance of getting on the field and also getting a breather.
Another first down for Edmond Memorial, who is really moving the ball probably better than most would have thought coming into this contest. First down, this is Green with a carry. Robinson will get a carry and get a couple yards as he gets it out close to midfield. Carl Robinson, 6 foot, 190-pound senior.
Second down and 5 for the Bulldogs.
And they try it again. It does not work, and we have a penalty flag from the far side. Stops the clock. 5:47. Another quick moving first quarter of play here.
Stand by. There's a long way along.
Pete Town very animated with Coach Walker. Motion penalty against Edmond Memorial. We'll take a look at that, Tim.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes those statistics get a little deceiving when your special teams has set you up in good position on the field, or but what Edmond has done is establish the run in this game and establish themselves on the line of scrimmage. And it doesn't matter how great your skill people are, if you can't dominate the line of scrimmage, it's going to be a long night for you. And I think the Bulldogs, if not dominating it, they've certainly held their own and been able to be very successful, but they've had to earn every single yard that they've made.
Third down, 5 to go. Town. Bomber defense stacks up the running back in the backfield, and Robinson has nowhere to go.
Yeah, another really solid play there. That was Andrew Purdue, sorry. 6'1", 240, only a junior. For several years now, this Midwest City team has been saying, hey, this is going to be our year where we get back into it, and they just haven't quite gotten over the hump. But this year, the talent is just too good to ignore.
Kevin Gaddis is back deep at his own 12 for the Bombers. And they faked the punt again, but Midwest City was not going to fall for it twice. Number 36, Davis King, who was successful the first time around. This time, no go, and they'll turn it right back over to Midwest City. Once again, back down on the field, Rod Thompson.
Hey guys, down here on the sideline, Midwest City, and Steve, you and Tim talked about the rich tradition of so many years back when you talk about Bomber football and what they've been able to do for a state championships. Had kind of a slump there, wasn't as strong, but then Coach Huff has his team going back in the right direction. You talk about all the speed, the team speed they have, the talent is coming back, and these fans very enthusiastic. So the sky's the limit. They want to get the Bombers back, and that was one thing they talked about when Coach Huff came, getting the Bombers back to that old tradition and getting them back to winning state championship. This is one team that could be there at the end. Very talented. Back up to you.
This Bomber team I've seen in a couple of years, no doubt about that. Vershawn Moore trying to hook up with Eric Jackson. The pass was there, just not able to come down with it and finish.
Yeah, that was a heck of a throw by Vershawn Moore. I just mentioned a moment ago, maybe Chilcote's a stronger passer, but that was a beautiful pass and gave him a chance for another big play. Mark Walker showing a lot of confidence in his defense. He's been going for it a lot, and they saw something on film they thought they could exploit and win some and lose some, I guess.
Slant over the middle, caught. Looks to be a little shy of first down yardage. That's John Flanders. Needs just a little bit more to get first down. That's the first completion of the night for Midwest City. 3rd and short, and they tunnel forward and should have enough for the first down.
And went with a quick hit there just to catch the defense off guard a little bit. And Going to keep this drive alive. And, you know, one of the things, there may be some people questioning the continuing to go for the 4th down fakes. If you're going to do that, some people say, well, just go for it. But, you know, you still, when you're out of that formation, if you have plays you believe will work, and I think if the up back had gone to the right side, I think he had an opening there that might have been able to pick up the 1st down. But when you're playing a team that has this home run type of power, they can score from the 20 just as easily as they can from the 50.
Moore going to put it up in the air, trying to hook up with Jackson again. Pass is incomplete, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 10. 4:09 left to go here in the first half. We've had plenty of excitement. The Flanders brothers each have gone long distance for touchdowns. Tim on a 49-yard run, followed up by a 17-yard touchdown gallop, and then brother John taking it 101 yards or 100 yards on a kickoff return to provide Midwest City with their 14 points on the board.
I think it'll be officially 100.
I think it probably will.
Good defensive play there by Keegan Grooms, linebacker for Edmond on that stop.
Little end around this time going to Antonio Brown. First time we've seen him tonight. And he'll get maybe a yard or two, but that'll bring up 3rd and long from the Edmond Memorial 37-yard line.
You just can't rest when Midwest City has the ball. You know, you keep thinking, wow, 3rd and long, I can stop these guys. And you look back, remember when USC just crushed Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl? The biggest fear USC had was being in 3rd and long. OU had them 3rd and long 8 times in the first half and gave up 35 points.
Here comes the blitz, and a perfect call at the perfect time. Coming off the corner there, Anthony Morales. Nice call and great execution. That'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, beautiful play there. Moore never really stood a chance, and Morales makes that play right here. You know what he's saying? We're not going away. We're not giving up. One play and we're here.
Got decals on that helmet.
Yep. For plays like that, you're in those dog bones.
4 passing plays on that drive. The punt is right down the middle and into the end zone. And out to the 20 will come the Bulldogs, trailing by 7. 3:19 left to go before halftime. We'll be right back.
Universal Pictures and Morgan Creek present
It's time to take back the school.
a comedy about teaming up
Go, Sydney!
to beat the elite.
I'm the last person you want to mess with. No, you're the first.
Amanda Bynes is Sydney White.
Hey, Terrence. Bye, Terrence.
It's back to school. Gotta have the latest shoes. But will your kids have fast feet and a slow internet? Start school on the right foot with Cox. Their high-speed internet is the fastest in Oklahoma, period. Cox DVR lets the kids do their homework, then watch TV. And bundle with Cox Phone to save even more. Call now to order Cox high-speed internet and save $10 a month for 6 months. Plus, Cox will donate $10 to your school. Go to coxforschool.com to learn more. With Cox, your kids are a shoo-in to succeed.
Mark Walker and his Bulldogs, they have played a very tough first half. The only difference in this contest to this point is a 100-yard kickoff return by John Flanders.
Yes, and a little bit controversial at that, but you just got to overcome those things. That's what athletics teaches you to do, and the Bulldogs have forgotten about it, and they're moving forward.
And moving the ball on the ground better than I would have thought they'd been able to, because they came in rushing the football. Edmond Memorial at just 103 yards a game. We knew about the tough defense from Midwest City, only giving up 60 yards a game on defense. But credit the offensive line, which Coach Walker said has really come together last couple of weeks, and they're doing a good job out there so far tonight. Right side dropped the football, picked it up, no whistle. And he's going to get first down on that.
Anywhere you need to.
Can you cause your own fumble, Ruski?
Yeah, why not? And you know, the thing you look at this early in the season, you've got some non-district play, and you can see the ball get down.
Oh, he went down.
Oh, yeah, he's down. But you have to look at the opponents that they're playing too, you know, for that kind of yardage. And you alluded to it a minute ago, 103 yards a game. You know, they open up with Del City. Del City won one football game last year. You know, some of the they had Edmond North, Edmond Santa Fe, Del City, and Norman. You know, Norman is not what they were last year.
Right.
Edmond North, we still don't know, even with Edmond Santa Fe, how good they really are. You know, they may be very good. They may be just, you know, maybe not their best year. So we just don't know. But this is a different Edmond football team, or the look of it, the way they carry themselves and their presence out there is very different from what we've seen in recent years.
Timeout with 2:11 left to go here. And we want to remind you that if you forgot to set your DVR, well, Cox has you covered with On Demand. All you have to do is hit the On Demand button on your remote, select Channel 1, go to Cox Local, and find all of the high school football games that we've done so far this year. On Demand, another reason more customers choose Cox as their entertainment provider. Don't forget, coming up tonight, don't miss Mike Wolf and Curtis Fitzpatrick for Sports Night Oklahoma. Catch all the highlights and scores from the games all around the state. That's coming up as soon as we're done here with this contest right now that is, to this point, has been a very good contest. Bulldogs trailing by 7, 2:11 left to go before halftime.
Mark Walker hoping his team can just chew the rest of this clock up and get down and score.
Bombers show blitz. Town keeps it, dishes it out. Nice play, good call, first down. Out across the 40-yard line.
There's a lot going on that play. You know, there's a lot of misdirection, there's fakes, and beautifully executed. Those are not always easy to execute because there's so many different nuances of the play, but what Town did there was great. The fake, he came out a little bit, looked like he was going to go ahead and run on a boot and then just dump the ball off, and really had Midwest City turning their heads a little bit on that play, and that's a huge first down for the Bulldogs.
Bulldogs have converted 3 consecutive third down opportunities. New set of downs from their own 41-yard line. Bulldogs pick up the blitz. Town trying to go deep. Got a man. What a catch. A fantastic catch out there by number 6, Kendrick Green.
Wow. Can you see why he's a primetime player?
Wow. 35 yards. We've not seen a better catch than this one all year long.
Nice job there by Town, just allowing his protection to form enough of a pocket for him to step into. And Green just gets past the defender, and boy, goes up and gets that thing, does a little somersault. Oh, caught it.
That C on his jersey stands for catcher. Catch the football. Good job there by one of the captains, Kendrick Green, and up the middle again. Squirting forward is Kayvon Samuels. Tim Lasher was thinking that the Bulldogs just wanted to get out here trailing 14-7. Mark Walker has other ideas.
No, I thought they wanted to control the clock, not throw bombs, you know. I thought but it was a nice change of pace for them, you know. I mean, going down the field like that, and they've done it a time or two, but really, they have executed some very nice plays.
Thought Town showed some great composure in the pocket as the offensive line picked up the blitz as well. Samuels again straight ahead to about the 18-yard line. Bulldogs have 2 timeouts left, clock running as we get under 50. You might want to use one of those timeouts. Yeah. Well, they haven't yet. The clock is still running. They have lost the valuable 30 seconds at least here. Third down and 3. Town again out of the backfield. Nice little pass. First down, stops the clock. 20 seconds at the 9-yard line.
Yeah. The play calling's been great. The execution has been great on this drive. I think right there they may look back and say, I wish I had a few more seconds left, but they sure have executed every play they've needed to.
Offensive coordinator for the Edmond Memorial Bulldogs is Josh Allen, who you remember as a quarterback at Edmond Santa Fe. Town fakes it, in trouble, throws it towards the end zone, incomplete. Clock stopped with 14 seconds left. Still have one timeout left and an opportunity to throw to the end zone once more and kick a field goal. Or you roll the dice? Probably not. You want to get some points on the board. Send your team to the locker room with the feeling of having some momentum right here.
Right. And if anything happens here where a quarterback is forced to scramble and they can't get out of bounds and they have to run it, they do have a timeout left.
Right.
You know, those plays can take 10, 12 seconds.
Sure
so you've got to allow for that. At least come away with 3 points.
From the 9-yard line. Going to throw the corner route. And it's in there for a touchdown. And a great job coming back for the football by David James.
They're doing a nice job mixing it up, aren't they? They've got a lot of different guys getting the ball thrown to them. Right there, the fade route, that's about as safe as it can be. And a lot of times, as you saw there, underthrown purposefully because it's very difficult for those cornerbacks to see exactly when the ball is going to be thrown. And so they have their back to it and underthrow the football. Receiver comes right back to it. Another fantastic drive.
Snap back, ball down, extra point attempt on the way. Up and through. We are all tied at 14 apiece with just 9 seconds left to go here in the half. Nice play call, nice execution, Tim.
Yeah, and you see Towns standing right in there, underthrows the football. Defensive back gets turned around, and the receiver knows. Touchdown Bulldogs, 14 apiece, and that's been an impressive first half.
It really was. Great job by the offense, the defense, and overall Mark Walker has to be very pleased with the way his Bulldogs have performed here in the first half. It's a whiteout night for the Edmond Memorial crowd, and right now they are hooping it up.
Well, we knew who Midwest City was, and we knew what their power was going to be and how explosive they were, and they've shown that they are with special teams play and big plays, just running the football up the middle. But I think Mark Walker's got to be thrilled the way his team responded to that play, that long touchdown return, and the way that they have really played offensively on the offensive and defensive line. I mean, the way that those guys have moved Midwest City players off the ball and the way they've mixed up their offensive play calling, it's really been a pretty impressive first half.
Yeah, the thing you don't want to do is let Midwest City get a good hand on the return. Good high kick. And it's going to be taken right at the 4-yard line. Looking up the middle is Flanders, John Flanders, but nothing there. Clock stopped with 3 seconds left.
You know, and I like that too. I like the fact they went ahead and kicked it. You know, I mean, now if he'd returned it for a touchdown, I would have said that's the dumbest thing he could possibly have done. But he showed confidence in his cover team. They hung the ball up in the air well. Flanders catches it, and they're able to cover and stop the play.
I might have gone for the line drive type kick myself.
Well, yeah, but this worked. So he's a star. It's a great call.
Were you just allowed to kick it however you wanted to, or were you given instructions?
No, Bobby Proctor was my special teams coach most of the time I was down there, and you generally did it. There was times we did that deep onside. He wanted it on the numbers on the 25, and if I put it on the 24 on the numbers, he let me hear about it.
Thought I saw a flag, but that looks like it's going to be the end of the first half of play. Well, a great first half and a good rally for the Edmond Memorial Bulldogs, who come in a decided underdog in this contest against Midwest City, but they have more than held their own here and go to the locker room here at halftime, all tied up at 14. Let's take a look at that last touchdown once again. Nice execution. Town has to reach up for the football. Purposely underthrown. Receiver comes back on it because he's looking for the ball. The D-back overruns it. Touchdown Bulldogs.
Yep. And the entire drive, you know, they converted a very important third down and 4 or 5 back when the ball was pretty deep in their own territory, and that was a critical part of the drive, obviously. But they took the 2-minute drill, they ran it to perfection. And then they're going to go in the locker room with a timeout remaining, and they were able to do that.
That was, yeah, because for a while you could tell the crowd was getting a little restless there because they thought that they were taking too much time and that they weren't going to be able to get into the end zone. Well, looks like Coach Walker and his staff knew exactly what they were doing as they tied up here at halftime. Let's go down and visit with Coach Walker and our own Rod Thompson.
Presented to 14 right now, you able to come. Controversial call, you question the call, but how important was it for you
to rally your team back and now have it tied up going into halftime?
You know, the biggest thing is you can't change referees. You know, I'm going to voice my opinion, but then after that, you're done. And our kids did respond. They're a very good football team. I'm proud of our offense. They drove 80 yards. One of the best defenses out here. It's not over. It's 0-0 as far as we're concerned. We got to come out and play a better second half.
What do you want to improve on in the second half?
Oh, you know, defensively swarm the ball again, like, you know, and then again on kickoff. Don't assume it's out, which we did on this last one. So, you know, just some of the things that we're hurting ourselves. And I'm very proud of our kids, though. That's a very, very good football team. And right now we're 14-14. I'm happy.
All right, Coach, good luck in the second half. Coach Walker right there, tied up 14-14. Back up to you, Steve.
All right, thank you very much. As you see, halftime, 14-14, our score. We'll take a timeout, come back with more for you right after this.
Universal Pictures and Morgan Creek present
Edmond, Oklahoma. And for your halftime entertainment, we will let you listen and enjoy the Edmond Memorial.
While saving $120 a year. Well, great savings and great service are here. Join the over 2 million Cox Phone customers nationwide who've made the choice to save. Get Cox Telephone for just $19.99 for a year. Call now and get free installation. Everything you could want for your phone from one great provider. Cox, your friend in the digital age.
Check out the big dog, the 2008 Ford Super Duty. It's your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
Well, I'm a big dog daddy, you know my
Ford Super Duty is the leader in total quality.
Heck, it's nicer than my own tour bus.
And it has best-in-class payload and towing. Now get $3,000 cash back plus $1,000 owner loyalty cash on a 2008 Super Duty.
I got my big Ford Super Duty right outside. I'm a big dog daddy.
That's up to $4,000 cash savings on Ford Super Duty. Now at your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
14-14, our score. It looked like Midwest City was going to get out and run away with the game early, but the Bulldogs would have none of it. They rallied back as we take a look at the first half stats and see how the numbers bear things out behind that beautiful full moon.
Well, you can see the score. The score is the key stat at 14 apiece, but look what the Edmond Bulldogs have done against this stout Midwest City defense. They have run the ball, balanced rushing and passing attack, doubled up the yardage. Nearly doubled up the yardage against Midwest City. Now that's a little bit deceiving because the offense didn't have the ball all that often. Look at the total plays in the first down.
Wow.
43 total plays, and the time of possession is in favor of Edmond, 17:25 to 6:35 for Midwest City. The thing that is, you know, again, it can be a little bit deceiving because Midwest City can score so quickly, and they're going to beat you that way if they're going to beat you. But Edmond is doing exactly what Mark Walker wanted to do, and that is control the football. And given the controversy of the one touchdown on the return kickoff, you know, they've done a very, very solid job tonight. And this has been an impressive. And again, I don't want to talk too much about Edmond because Midwest City certainly deserves their due, but we knew what we had coming into the game with them.
Great
and
point.
Edmond has just played a great job, or just done a great job in tonight's game.
All right, 14-14 is our halftime score. We will take a timeout, continue our coverage, take a look at those first half highlights right after this.
Cox is the fastest internet in Oklahoma, period. No one else even comes close. Music, movies, and more are instantly yours. Experience everything you love to do online, faster. And it's all delivered over a state-of-the-art fiber network built specifically for Oklahoma by Cox. We do it for everyone. We do it for you. Cox is your friend in the digital age.
Killers wore Saudi police uniforms.
Number so far, 100 plus killed, 200 plus injured.
An elite FBI team sent to a hostile country. Now they are the target.
Let's go.
The Kingdom.
We went around swapping people's vehicles for 1 week. We didn't tell them we were from Ford. We told them it was market research.
My dream come true for at least a week, huh? I'm trading in my Nissan Armada for this Ford Expedition.
I need a lot of cargo room, so those rear fold-down seats did it for me. When it flips down, it is completely flat, which is a beautiful feature. This is without a doubt my next vehicle.
Swap your ride. Visit a Ford dealer or go to FordChallenge.com.
Lemon pepper, Cajun, mild, teriyaki, atomic, hickory smoked barbecue, Hawaiian, original hot, and garlic parmesan. These 9 flavors and you helped us make wing history. We'd like to say, thanks, America.
Introducing the biggest thing to happen in sports. Sports Monday, only in the Monday Oklahoman. Only Sports Monday gives you statewide and coast-to-coast coverage of the weekend's games, plus event ratings for the week ahead. Only Sports Monday puts you in the press box, on the sidelines, and in the locker room, with exclusive features only insiders know. Get your sports complete and compact to grab and go. Get Sports Monday every Monday, only in the Oklahoman. Now you're ready.
14-14, our halftime score, your Oklahoma Ford Dealers game of the week. Midwest City and Edmond Memorial, they are slugging it out. It's a whiteout night for the Edmond students and fans. They have turned out, and they are seeing a good game as we go to our halftime highlights. And here with the show, Tim Lasher.
There's plenty of them, and right there you can see Mr. Flanders is going off tackle and going all the way, or getting as far as he can. Edmond staying with him, keeping him from the touchdown, but it wasn't long after that he found his way into pay dirt. Just pretty simple stuff. Take talented people and give them the football, and good things always will happen. Then Edmond came back, and they ran a couple of fake plays. They ran a couple of fake punts there in the first half. That one kept the drive alive. And then they go in for the touchdown, even the football game at 7 apiece. And this is where things change. Right there, you see that the player appeared to be in the end zone, which would have been a dead ball, but John Flanders just kept it and went all the way for a touchdown, 100 yards, even delayed a little bit to check and see if he was in there, but when Edmond let up, he made him pay for it, and then Town drove down on a 2-minute drill. A beautiful pass here to Green. What incredible catch. Gets him down into scoring position late in the first half, and then they finally find the end zone again. Town underthrows the pass on purpose, and they get in for the touchdown. And they even that thing up 14 apiece, and we got a happy Edmond Bulldog faithful here. There's a little smack talk going on when the game began, too.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that going on right here. And Midwest City coming in, feeling good at 4-0. Edmond Memorial feeling resurgent at 2-2. We will see how it all wears out in the second half. We'll take a timeout. Come back with more for you right after this.
Killers wore Saudi police uniforms.
Number so far, 100 plus killed, 200 plus injured.
An elite FBI team sent to a hostile country. Now they are the target.
There is, let's go.
The Kingdom.
We went around swapping people's vehicles for 1 week. We didn't tell them we were from Ford. We told them it was market research.
I traded my Nissan Murano for the new Ford Edge for 1 week. It has 2 sunroofs? My favorite feature of the Edge is the sunroof. The minute that I hop into the car, I like to just open it up. The Ford Edge is sportier looking. It has a younger feel to it. I think this is a step up for my Murano. I'm very disappointed in returning it. I want to keep it. I'll miss you.
Swap your ride. Visit a Ford dealer or go to FordChallenge.com.
14-14. In a game like this, you never take anything for granted. And that's maybe what cost Edmond Memorial 7 points as we go back to that kickoff return by John Flanders, who took it, looked like he took it in the end zone. Looks as though he even hesitates as he starts to run it out, thinking it is a touchback.
Well, and the question is, did the ball break the plane, not where his foot is? And right there, if you look at it, the ball may not have broken the plane at that point. But with his body in there, it probably didn't. I mean, now that you see it that close, it's really hard to tell. But look, he looks to the official, and the official doesn't do anything. And so he says, well, I better run it. And he just takes off and is able to break through. And the Edmond cover team Don't know if they let up at all or not, but they certainly had enough shirts down there, and the guys were getting a hat on a hat and moving them aside. So Flanders didn't even know whether he could run it out or not, but from that vantage point, it didn't look like the ball broke the plane. Now, we weren't right on the line, but it looked like he had the ball out in front of the goal line.
And that gives us opportunity, too, to always recognize those guys. They're not working the games on Saturdays. In some cases, they are. But, you know, they do a great job, the officials out there also. Let's go down to Rod Thompson real quick once again.
Jackson, he has a News OK scouting report. Blake, how did it burn in the first half, and how did it look for you?
Well, all right, Rod. Well, I think I spoke too soon when I said Midwest City was the best team on the west side because Edmond Memorial has rocked them in the first half. Tim Flanders has started off well. He has 77 yards and a touchdown, but the rest of his carries beyond the 48 and 17-yarder are 3, 1, 0, and 7 yards. So he hasn't started off quite as well. Pete Town is just taking the Bombers to the house as far as being a quarterback. He's completed, let's see, well, 8 passes for 98 yards, an interception, and a touchdown. So he's playing really well. And if not for that 100-yard disputable kickoff return by John Flanders, Memorial will be up right now.
So it should be interesting. What do you think you see in this second half?
Well, I would expect to see them use Tim Flanders more and more. Obviously, if you go back and look at the first half, he had trouble running up the middle. I think the key is to bounce him around the outside. That's where he got his 17-yarder and his 48-yarder. So look at the Bombers to key on the left and right side to try to get Tim Flanders around the corner.
All right, that's Blake Jackson right there with the News OK scouting report. Back up to you, Steve.
Thank you very much. We will take a timeout and continue. Get ready for second half action here on the Cox Channel right after this.
Introducing the biggest thing to happen in sports. Sports Monday, only in the Monday Oklahoman. Only Sports Monday gives you statewide and coast-to-coast coverage of the weekend's games, plus event ratings for the week ahead. Only Sports Monday puts you in the press box, on the sidelines, and in the locker room, with exclusive features only insiders know. Get your sports complete and compact to grab and go. Get Sports Monday every Monday, only in the Oklahoman. Now you're ready.
Killers wore Saudi police uniforms.
Number so far, 100 plus killed, 200 plus injured.
An elite FBI team sent to a hostile country. Now they are the target.
Let's go.
The Kingdom.
Welcome back. 14-14 is our score here at the halftime intermission. All tied up as we get ready for second half action. Rod Thompson is on the sidelines. He's trying to run down Coach Huff on the far sides. We'll get a report from him and Coach Huff, see what the Bombers want to do here in this second half as we get ready to restart play. Both teams on the field, get that 3-minute time frame to loosen up to get ready for the second half of play. Rod Thompson's ready. Let's go down there and visit with him now.
Coach Huff, tied up 14-14. What were your assessments of that first half, and what did you tell your team at halftime?
Well, one thing, we've got to turn up offensive intensity. We're not moving the ball a bit. They're doing a great job on defense against us, and we knew it coming in the ballgame. They're a very good defensive team, and so we've got to step it up second half offensively.
All right, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
All right, that's Coach Huff right there saying they got to step it up. Started well in that first quarter, really pushing the ball, but it kind of slowed up in that second quarter, so they got to do a better job of that to try to come away with a win. Great game, guys. Great atmosphere. As you guys said, 6A2, definitely a great district. Back up to you.
I think one of the things we need to mention is that might have been a controversial play, but there is no telling that if they had gotten that ball to the 20-yard line, Midwest City could have just easily hit an 80-yard and gone to score. You know, that's where sometimes you see a result of a game, and there's certainly times where a key play will take place and it changes the complexion of the game. But if this game ends up 21-14 and Midwest City wins, there is nothing that should say that was the reason why, because Edmond came right back. They remained poised, they went down, and they did what they needed to do, and Midwest City is going to continue to make plays. So, you know, you just got to look past that and say, look, it happened. It may have been the right call based on what we just saw. So, can't dwell on those plays. It's part of the game. Sometimes refs just miss calls, and sometimes we think they missed one because it didn't go our way.
And that's right, and we were wrong. Imagine that.
Well, that can't be because I was wrong earlier this year, and I'm only wrong once a year.
Midwest City kicks off to Edmond Memorial. Kick goes into the end zone. That is not returnable, and the Bulldogs will bring it out 1st and 10 from their own 20. So there's a case where Bulldogs get the football, score last possession of the half, and then start the second half and have possession again. Great opportunity for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and the way that their offense has really controlled the game, I think Steve Huff alluded to it right there. You know, offensively, they've got to do some more things, but, you know, defensively, and I don't know if Edmond is showing them some things or doing some things they didn't see in film or what it was, but this Edmond team came to play tonight.
You know, and sometimes teams, you don't want to say they can be too fast, but a lot of those little boot passes with the running back leaking out of the backfield have really been very successful because Midwest City has such a push upfield.
Yeah, and they're so big and they're so strong, and their speed and their pursuit is so good. A lot of times if you play teams like that, you can run some misdirection stuff or just some delay patterns, and you can catch them back on their heels, and you eliminate them as a factor in the play. And that's just great play calling. I think the thing that's been most impressive is Edmond has executed everything that they've tried to. And you know, there's been a couple of plays where Midwest City's just blown up on them, but I think Mark Walker understands if you give Midwest City the ball 55 times, they're going to make big plays at least a few of those times, at least 1% of those times.
130 some odd yards in that first half total offense for the quarterback right there, Pete Town. And the 98 yards throwing the football, 47 on the ground. And we are all set to go. Second half. Well, when the week started, we told you we had 2 games from 6A2, and we have seen 2 dandies. Putnam City winning over Westmore last night, and this one all tied at halftime. First play for the Bulldogs. You got 18 of the 22 guys on the field, all in a semicircle right there.
Looked like one of my daughter's games when they were 6 years old, one of those soccer games, you know,
yeah.
just a rugby scrum.
Spread the field. Right at the line of scrimmage as they are stacked up on that first down play. See what the play call is here from the offensive coordinator, Josh Allen. And it doesn't matter what the play call is when you got defense like that. Coming in there, number 30 for Midwest City, Emmanuel Maxwell, among others, on the stop.
Yeah, there were several Bombers around there getting ready to make that play if they needed to. That was, again, we talk a lot about it probably every week. Maybe we talk about it too much, but when you've got guys up front that can move big bodies around like that, it doesn't matter how good your running back is. If you don't have any place to go, it's going to be a long night for you.
So Vershawn Moore on the sidelines warming up, getting ready to come in. He would hope after this play here. Town, little misdirection that was tipped at the line of scrimmage, and then the intended receiver, Kendrick Green, got a hand on it. Falls incomplete. Punting situation, 3 and out for the Bulldogs.
Michael Moody, number 5, did a nice job for the Bombers there, disrupting that play. And now you see Midwest City doing the things they want to do, is quickly get the ball back and get it into some of these skilled players' hands.
Punter for Bulldogs is Nick Walters. Averages 42 yards a kick. Takes a low snap, gets a good foot into it. Hits it midfield. Kind of dies right there. Will be blown dead at the 48-yard line. That's where the Bombers will take it 1st and 10 in this tied contest. So we'll see if they made any adjustments in that Midwest City locker room. And I think Blake Jackson from NewsOK.com was right on the money. If you're a fan of Midwest City, you got to see the ball in number 20's hands a little more often.
Yeah, yeah. And every time he touches it, something good happens. Somebody named Flanders needs to touch it.
Antonio Brown goes in motion. Give up the middle to Flanders, and he's going to lose yardage. Can't say enough about the job this Bomber defense, or this Bulldog defense, has done here so far tonight.
Well, the defensive lines of both these teams have really shown what they can do. The officials may be having to talk a little bit about, guys, let's not mouth off too much out here. Before the game, Midwest City met Edmond at the middle of the field, and they were all doing that big group bouncing up and down thing, you know.
Right.
But they were kind of getting in their face a little bit, and tempers tend to flare in tight games.
Slant pass is caught. First down yardage and then some, trying to break away and still loose. Finally brought down, but not until a big game for Kevin Gaddis all the way down to the 22-yard line in Edmond territory.
Well, that was just a lot of yards after contact. He was wide open on the play. Nice pass here from Moore on the quick slant. And then Gaddis just, what a move that was. He had 3 maroon jerseys all around him, and he just cut back on him and picked up more yardage, spinning and fighting, and took a whole pack of Bulldogs to get him down. Is it a pack of Bulldogs? What's a group of dogs?
The pack would be.
Not a gaggle. No, it's not a gaggle.
It's not a gaggle.
That's cornets. It's a gaggle of cornets.
There's a running play. This is Antonio Brown inside the 10, still on his feet, fighting for the end zone, and out at the 1.
Antonio Brown on the carry for the Bombers.
Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
I was going to say, there's another thing, too. You just saw Gaddis with a great run. We know about Flanders, and then you throw Brown in there. It's not just 1 or 2 guys.
We say make sure if Flanders touches it. The first play, they don't get anything, and since then, they picked up huge yardage. Close to getting into the end zone there, and you can see this Midwest City team, they're just, they have a talent level that really makes them explosive.
Moore tries to get into the end zone. Looks like he might have crossed feet with one of his offensive linemen. Trips down short of the goal line. Carl Robinson in on the tackle. We're at Watland Stadium here in Edmond, Oklahoma. And 68 degrees. Beautiful night for football. Can't believe it's October next week.
Yeah.
Little game in Dallas coming up.
Great time of year, yeah.
Flanders fighting for the end zone and in for the Bomber touchdown. Tim Flanders with his 11th touchdown of the year, his 2nd of the night.
Well, you give a team like Midwest City that kind of field position starting at midfield, and they can make it look easy on you in a hurry. I mean, that's exactly what they did. Several different players touching that ball, and all of them productive, and Flanders puts it in for Flanders getting it. His 2nd. His brother's got the other one, so 3 touchdowns tonight. We're going to see what Edmond's got left in him here.
Extra point attempt. And first we have whistles and flags. Whistles and flags. Get the call from our official. Illegal procedure, which is not akin to defensive indifference. Saw that a couple years ago.
Defensive indifference? You shouldn't be allowed in the field if you're going to be indifferent.
That was a preseason scrimmage that we did 2 years ago that we had that call.
Defensive indifference.
Extra point attempt, push back 5 yards. Not the prettiest of kicks, and it is not good. It is going to cost the Bombers a point. So 2014, Midwest City on top when we come back for the kickoff.
Universal Pictures and Morgan Creek present
It's time to take back the school.
a comedy about teaming up
Go, Sydney!
to beat the elite.
I'm the last person you want to mess with. No, you're the first.
Amanda Bynes is Sydney White.
Hey, Terrence. Bye, Terrence.
My higher education is less about my financial investment and more about professors who are invested in me, where it's not about what I'm going to owe, but what I own. Determination, drive, and very soon, my degree. Because I'm in it for me at OCCC, Oklahoma City Community College. Are you in it?
Midwest City Bombers go on a 52-yard scoring drive, punch it in the end zone, miss the extra point. Will that come back to haunt them? Memorial has bounced back after trailing twice earlier. See what they can do this time around. Muff the kick return, but now some running room and going down the sidelines. Good return for the Bulldogs and getting it into Midwest City territory. That's how you answer it. A great return by number 34, David James, who's had a big night.
And Jordan Turner did a nice job there, staying with him after missing that extra point. And this can happen sometimes. A little bit of a delay, and the cover team gets a little deeper than they normally do. And all of a sudden, you've got a seam to run through, and you can get behind those guys pretty quick. It's a risky proposition on cover teams. You don't see a lot of times they break free, but if it works out the right way, sometimes those muff kicks can get back there, and that puts them in excellent field position.
53-yard kickoff return. Line of scrimmage now, the Bomber 38-yard line. Good protection. Town steps up, throws a perfect strike. Would have gone for 6, but right on the money to Kendrick Green. Can't throw it any better than that.
No, no, and you know, you look at Town back there, and he is very comfortable. You know, it reminds me a little bit of Matt Edmonds when we used to see him at Mustang. You know, and he's much bigger than Edmonds was, but he just is comfortable back there. He stays in the pocket. He doesn't get happy feet and start bouncing around everywhere. And he's obviously got a quality receiver in Green. You can see 3 catches for 76 yards. I think coaches like those 25-yard plus averages per catch.
Next play, little end around. Kendrick Green has the football, trying to race to the corner. Flanders is out there, turns it back towards the middle. Bobbing and weaving his way and carrying people all the way down to the 2. Look at that.
Wow. You know, Green's 5'11" and 170 pounds, and he's carrying it. Look at him. Look how he's thin,
He is
man.
pumped right now. I'm going to tell you, he's got some adrenaline flowing through that body.
Well, the play took a long time to develop. You thought right there that it was going to really blow up on him, but then here he comes, and here goes Green, and then you just thought, well, you're not going to get around Flanders. Nice job by the offensive lineman getting back in the game there. That was number 76, who's Chaz Jones. Super job helping out his back there, and then Green, who you can see now, you see how thin he looks?
Yeah.
He still has rib pads on.
Yeah, really.
Okay, so you and I don't look that good, you know.
No, I need less rib pads.
Well, just
or some people
stuff.
think I'm actually wearing rib pads.
And he carried 5 or 6 guys on his back and picked up 5 extra yards. And now they'll be measuring to see if he picked up a first down.
On the field for a measurement.
You pointed it out, too. What a great job by the lineman, Chaz Jones, aiding and abetting the runners.
Well, you know, a lot of times it's hard for them to know who to block and where to block, you know, because you got backs and quarterbacks running around back there. But, you know, it wasn't a pancake block or anything, but he got between the ball carrier and the defender, and that's what you're supposed to do. And really a heads-up play.
So impressed with the way the Bulldogs have really come out here tonight. Many people didn't give them much of a chance. I gave them a chance. I just really thought Midwest City, from what we saw, was very, very good. And you mentioned the fact that, you know, their schedule has been in their favor this first part of the season. No question about that. But they've shown their flashes of brilliance. But the Edmond Memorial Bulldogs, who could not score a touchdown until week 3 of the season, have been very impressive here tonight.
And they have come right back every time Midwest City's had success. And, you know, every single time they've done that. And if they can punch it across here, all of a sudden that penalty on the extra point starts to loom large.
Yep. 1 yard for a first down, 3 yards to get in the end zone, and I don't see any flags or hear any whistles. I'm not sure what happened there.
Well,
quick sneak, I guess. I missed it.
Not exactly. Yeah, and I don't know if I saw it. We're kind of high up here at Wantland Stadium, by the way, one of the greatest facilities
really
we get to watch a high school football game in. I know it's UCO's field, but they've just done some great things to this. And it appeared that the center went ahead and snapped the ball, and the other lineman didn't move, and Edmond was able to take advantage of that, and Town got close again. So first down and goal now at the 1, and Midwest City thought there was some illegal motion.
And now flags fly. Clock stopped with 7:20 to go here in the third quarter. Bombers are about 1 yard. Well, maybe now 6 yards. No, it's actually against Midwest City.
Encroachment on the defense.
So a yard and an extra point from taking the lead here.
To the goal.
They'll sneak it straight ahead again. And into the end zone for a Bulldog touchdown. Edmond Memorial ties it up. The extra point could give him the lead.
Well, once again, another impressive drive. And I think Steve Huff is going to have to take his team and say, guys, we need to come right back and show them, you know, this is going to be a slugfest here, I think, pretty soon. And now, you see what's happening. Tempers are starting to flare ever since that quarterback, you know, in that play a moment ago. Midwest City has kind of gotten upset, and they're losing their cool a little bit, and coaches will tell you, you have to be poised. We'll see the call here. Unsportsmanlike conduct. So there's some jawing going on down there right now, and Steve Huff is going to have to calm his team down and say, fellas, look, we have to stay in our game and know that when you get in these tight ball games, it makes you a better team. But that may be assessed on the kickoff.
It's going to make that point exactly. And there's two schools of thought there. You just kick it through the end zone against a team like Midwest City so they don't have a chance for return, or you kick what to you would be a high onside kick, but you could get it pretty far down the field.
Yeah, well, and when you've got guys like this returning the ball on you, you just don't want to give them an opportunity.
Here we go for the extra point attempt that could put Edmond Memorial on top, and we have more flags.
Stand by, Laundry on the line.
The referee's going to talk it over. Looked like Midwest City came across too early.
Offsides on the Bombers.
That's 3 penalties in the last 3 plays. Is that what it is?
Or probably not even 3 plays.
Yeah, I mean.
Free kick now. Is that what I just heard?
A re-kick?
A re-kick. I thought.
No, they should be able to decline that, yeah. Well, what?
Jake Grubbs in for the extra point attempt, and it is up and good. Edmond Memorial has taken a 1-point lead with 7:16 left to go here in the third quarter.
And your Bulldogs 21.
Extra point attempt. Up and through. Grubbs on the hold. Bryce Otto on the extra point. And the Bulldogs have taken a 21-20 lead. So I think Coach Walker is talking with the referee about the penalty, unsportsmanlike conduct assessed against Midwest City, how they're going to do that on the kickoff.
They should be able to kick the ball from 45. Now they're lined up on the 40.
Yeah.
But they should be able to kick it. That's a 15-yard penalty of unsportsmanlike conduct. They should be kicking it from Midwest City's 45-yard line.
Let's go down to Rod Thompson on the sidelines. Rod?
Hey, guys, down on the sideline over here at Midwest City, one of their keys to the game when they talked about was special teams. Didn't get a good kick, and you missed the extra point. They come back. Edmond, give them a lot of credit, playing hard right now. And now Midwest City, the momentum has changed. Now Coach Huff is trying to do the job over here to keep his guys composed. As you said, Steve, a lot of penalties has cost them. Emotion is running high. Edmond has been able to respond every single time. Coach said they got to improve this running game in the second half. Let's see if they can do it. Back up to you, Steve.
That time the kickoff breaks the plane, and there will be no return.
You know,
Bombers football.
Boy, I'd like to see that one again, too.
First down and 10 for their own 20.
That's a wry smile from Coach Walker, too.
Yeah, I'm just. Maybe the ball broke. There it is. And. Okay, that ball was behind his right shoulder, so.
Across the plane.
We are going to assume that the referee saw it perfectly, and that was exactly the way it should have gone.
Vershawn Moore, the quarterback, all the way for the Bombers. First down give goes nowhere. Antonio Brown, the ball carrier, number 3, doesn't get much there.
I think this is a good test for this Midwest City team, you know, because if you want to say there may, and not for this Midwest City team, but a lot of times when teams are extremely talented, they rely on the talent.
Right.
And they don't get put into these situations a lot of times where they've got to really respond and stay and remain poised. This is a real opportunity for them to mature as a team, you know, if they fall into that category. And the talent can do a lot for them. And Vershawn Moore, once again, nice job passing the ball. They're going to give him a first down. But they need to show they can go toe-to-toe with this Edmond team the way they've come back from setbacks from time to time.
Midwest City opened the season with a 34-14 win over Del City. It's a rivalry game. Then the next week, blasted Enid 43-0. They scored all 43 in that first half of play. We saw them beat Moore 38-13, and then really what's their closest game to date was that victory last week over UConn, 49-28, that I believe it was tied at 28 at one point, but Midwest City went on to win it by 3 touchdowns.
Well, UConn is not the UConn of old. They're a good football team this season. And Midwest City's just an explosive juggernaut.
Here's Antonio Brown breaking into the secondary all the way down to the Bulldog 27-28 yard line, and a big pickup for Antonio Brown.
I think we're seeing exactly why Mark Walker wanted to keep the ball as much as possible. I mean, every time these guys touch it, they're capable of doing this. And again, this is Brown, whether it's Flanders, you know, no matter who it is, they're, you know, Moore, they can all move that ball down the field.
40-yard pickup for Antonio Brown. Brown is maybe a little bit forgotten, but he's a very good running back on his own. Comes in with 306 yards rushing on the season with 6 touchdowns. He averages 6.2 yards a carry. Moore, pump over the middle, intercepted. Bulldogs come away with the pick. Coming back the other way on the near sideline, that's Weston Ingram. Slips a tackle all the way down to the 28-yard line in Bomber territory.
Anthony Morales had an all-time block here on the near sideline. A great play, maybe a little bit of an ill-advised pass, try to force it in there, probably had the inside slant. And there the pickoff going down the sideline. Watch this block by Morales coming up here just in the middle. It'll be in the middle of your screen. Going down the sideline, kaboom.
Wow, that's getting blown up.
Yeah. You love it on the film room. Weston Ingram, 6'3", 185.
Yeah, they just showed it on the big screen here at Wantland Stadium, and the entire crowd went, ooh. That's dangerous when those guys who double as fullbacks and linebackers are able to get that blind side hit on you.
And he is playing with intensity right now, and Midwest City's defense really needs to try to take control of this on this drive, because that was a great forced turnover by Edmond, and after several big plays, it didn't look like Midwest City's offense was going to be stopped at that point. I mean, this second half, they've kind of done what they wanted to until that play, and now we've got Edmond not only with a lead on that extra point, but great field position.
You were looking at the defensive players. Timeout taken. Zesmond White for Midwest City, number 90, 6'6", 235, and Russell Brown, number 99, in on that last stop, 6', 270. Now, I think this is probably a pretty good timeout. First play from scrimmage, a lot of momentum, emotion going around out there. As you take a look at the interception again,
and
maybe we'll get to see the hit again.
The inside slant I thought was there. Moore went to the outside. You know, anytime that ball is tipped up in the air, defenses that are opportunistic will get there, and that's exactly what Ingram does. And you saw just the remnant of that block. And Ingram puts his team in great position. That's the old tip drill.
And I want to say that Vershawn Moore comes in to this contest with, I believe, 2 interceptions in the air, and I think the 2 that he threw were the game we did against Moore, and as I recall, those were also tip balls.
Yeah. He's thrown some good balls tonight.
7 different players with rushing yards for the Bulldogs tonight, 5 with different receivers. And Town's going to keep this and has some running room. Pete Town down to about the 23, picks up 7, or actually 9 after the 2-yard loss.
Michael Moody.
you sometimes will see a play like that and you don't think much about it, but that was 2nd down at 13.
Yeah.
You know, and now you're into a situation where you've got a short 4 or a long 3 for a 1st down, and there was nothing fancy about it either. That's going right down your throat. You know, you're not doing anything but beating the team physically right there on that play.
3rd down and 3. Midwest City appeared to jump across. Quick little pass. Nice catch and a great downfield block. That was just executed to perfection, which is about what you can say for most of the Bulldog offense all night long.
Yeah, and that was an unusual beginning to that play because it looked like Midwest City jumped, but it also looked like Edmond moved on the right side of the line. But again, you just said it, Steve, great execution, and I don't know if you can play a perfect ball game, but when it comes to the execution on offense, Edmond's played as flawlessly as you can, I think.
Except for the one pass, the slant play that John Flanders jumped and intercepted.
Right.
Their execution has really been, as you said, pretty close to flawless. Here comes Morales. Same play he scored the touchdown on earlier. He'll get 2 or 3, and that'll bring up 2nd and goal from the 6. And we want to remind everybody that we have other things coming your way. And if you want to watch up to 8 live college football games at once, Cox now offers the End Zone on channel 993 each Saturday during the football season. If you don't have Cox Digital Cable, you can upgrade today in Oklahoma City. Call 600-7602 and Tulsa 286-4201. 2nd and goal from the 6. Town straight ahead. 2 or 3 yards there. That's going to bring up an interesting call. And 3rd and about goal from the 4.
Cameron Stewart wraps him up for the Bombers.
Morales lets the sidelines know. I'm okay. I'm still here. I'm staying.
For the touchdown.
And Mark Walker, still a lot of football to play, but you'd be hard-pressed to find a bigger win in his 5 years if he could come away and snatch victory here tonight. Play action, fake the handoff, right at the goal line, falling down at the 1-yard line. Pass is complete as they get it down there to number 42, Logan Thomas. Short, but that'll bring up 4th and goal from about the half-yard line.
And I think you got to go for it here. I think you want to make a statement. You want to send a message to your team. You want to send a message to everybody else in your district, and you go for it.
You go for it, and you get it. Touchdown, Bulldogs. All right, Mr. Lasher. 27-20. Got to go for 2, don't you?
No, I don't think so. I've always been a proponent of you don't go for 2 unless you absolutely have to, because you can play yourself out of it a little bit.
Okay.
If you kick the extra point, you force Midwest City to have to go for 2. If at 27-20, you can still get beat if they're successful on a 2-point.
You just want to pad your own stats, you kickers. Why don't I even ask that question?
Yeah. Everybody's giving it to me on that. The truck and everybody.
Penalty flag after the made extra point, and that's going to be roughing the kicker, I'm quite sure, against Midwest City, who can't stay out of their own way right now.
Right, yeah, and that's where you don't want the wheels to come off, and I think emotionally right now, Midwest City's a little bit stunned. Now, we didn't see the penalty assessed on the unsportsmanlike conduct on the last kickoff. I'm not exactly sure what happened there.
With 2 minutes and 45 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, the score.
Mark Walker has his troops pumped up. You know he's fired up right now. 28-20. Take a look at that penalty. See how guilty Midwest City was on roughing the kicker. Extra point attempt. Up and through. He tried to hold up, no question about it. Wasn't like it was intentional.
Yeah, you take a little shot there. Whoa! Look, throw the flag. Yep, there it came. You know, every now and again, kicker will get hit, and they'll accuse you of faking it, which of course never happens. Punters do it all the time. Us place kickers
punters
don't.
do. Yeah, okay.
I had an official say that to me one time. I got just my legs taken out from under me. I was laying on my back, and I laid my head down at the end. He goes, no, don't give me that fake stuff. It was Jerry Ball for SMU. You remember him? He was about 5'8", and 400 pounds.
Yeah, I do remember.
And he just rolled right under me, and I was like, fake it. Not that good of an actor.
6-point lead for the Bulldogs, and hold on, we have penalty flags. Looked like the kicker kind of slowed his approach as he was getting to the ball, and somebody went across the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Offside on the Bulldogs.
I'll have to check with my, well, actually they did spot that at the 45-yard line, so they did assess it.
Yep. I'm not sure what happened in the previous series, but
Coach Steve Huff right now, and you can look at the faces behind him. There's not much excitement or exuberance on that Bomber sideline right now.
Right. Well, and it's not like they're out of the game.
No, not at all.
They're out of their rhythm a little bit, and Edmond, to their credit, has taken them out of that. But Midwest City is certainly, I mean, these guys could score 4 touchdowns, you know, every time they touch the ball. So this is, you know, I think that's what the coaching staff is probably saying to them right now, saying, guys, look, you are certainly talented enough to get this ball and come right back and take it down their throats.
28-20 our score, and here's a look at the rushing yards on what is going on. These are tonight's game totals. Unbelievable the way that the Bulldog defense has played.
Yeah, I mean, it's just they have played very well. They've given up yardage, obviously, but the turnover was huge in the last series because it looked like Midwest City was just going to go right back down and score. The missed extra point is big, but both these teams are playing, you know, yardage-wise pretty close to one another, but Edmond's controlling the clock, and that's a big deal.
Option right side, late pitch to Flanders. He'll get about 6 or 7.
Midwest City, almost 8 yards per play. That's, you don't lose a lot of games when you're getting 8 yards per play.
Well, and how many times have they been stacked up or thrown for a loss? It's just that they have such big play capability. You know, you go back to a 49-yard run and a couple of long plays, pass play in there, and a great run after the catch by Gaddis. Brown up the middle right side. He'll get first down yardage and then some out to about the 34-yard line. Yeah, it wouldn't totally be out of the realm of possibility here that, you know, another half hour or so goes by and we're looking at the Bombers winning by 14 points.
Yeah, they are really explosive, and a lot of times when you get in games like this that it's just, you know, a slugfest. The team that maintains their poise through the whole thing. You know, how many times you watch Tiger Woods in a golf tournament? You know, he misses 16 fairways in the round, and he still goes out and shoots 68. You know, I mean, because he can grind it out. And when you get in these tight district games like that, you have to be prepared going in to do that. You may not do well on 2 downs, but that 3rd down, you may go pick up your 1st down, and you can't let it get you too frustrated.
Pass intended out there for Eric Jackson, who is overthrown by just a bit. That'll bring up 3rd down and long. You know, they used to say about the old San Diego Chargers when they had Fouts and Kellen Winslow and John Jefferson and those guys that they scored too fast. You know, that doesn't make sense. How can you score too fast? But you were talking a little while ago about getting into a rhythm. And they have put 20 points on the board. One was on a kickoff. Another one was a 2-play drive.
Right.
And I think rhythm is a key to what you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and Midwest City has been so explosive, and they've been able to overcome any of the challenges they've had tonight because they're just such a gifted football team as far as their talent is concerned. But you really do want to see them control the game, and that's what I think that's been so impressive with Edmond tonight. They've given up a lot of plays, they've given up some points, but every time that they've been beaten, they've come back successfully and mounted a big drive, and they've forced turnovers, and that's coaches just love to see that.
Equipment time out there. Here comes the blitz from the far side. Option pitch to the left. It's going to get close to 1st down yardage and will be enough for the 1st down. Stops the clock with 1:23 left to go here in the 3rd.
Yeah, and that's where Moore has to get in the huddle right now and say, look, guys, we're moving the ball down the field. Just let's play calm, and it's probably good that the offense is out there. The defense was getting a little excited out there, and that's where defenses are, though. That's such an emotional position for them, and so much of defense is emotion, but controlled emotion is what makes great defenses.
Vershawn Moore, the quarterback, gets the offense right back up to the line of scrimmage from their own 45-yard line. Triple goes motion right side, lines up as a tight end. Here comes the blitz off the corner again. Moore takes it, it's spilled right at midfield. Nice play there defensively by number 40, Keegan Grooms, one of the leading tacklers on the team. And we've got a Bulldog down on the field right now with 1 minute exactly left to go here in the third quarter of play. And the Edmond training staff will tend to the down player.
Anthony Morales that time, Steve, came hard on the corner and took Flanders out of the play right away. You know, it forced Moore up inside, but Moore made a nice gain out of it.
Great game last night in 6A2. Putnam City beating Westmore, coming from behind and scoring on their final possession of the game. This one has all the makings of another one, as we have gotten good exposure your way in Class 6A2. Putnam City right now is alone atop, and whoever wins this game will be up there with them at 2-0 in the district. Checking out of the lineup with a knee or ankle injury, Julius McGee, a 6-foot senior corner, as he limps off. Get a replacement out there, and we'll get right back to the action right here. Next week we've got Heritage Hall in Millwood. Millwood obviously down a little bit this year. Heritage Hall is a team to watch certainly in Class 2A. Garrett Valdez and the group over there, very impressive in their opening season win when we saw them here on the Cox Channel against the Cassidy School. Clock starts to run again right at midfield as we look at a 2nd and 5 for the Bombers. And again, they show blitz. Morales that time did not time it good enough, and looks like he's going to be called offsides.
That's going to give Midwest City a first down. 5:21 to go.
I told you about how Midwest City games have fared this year. We also mentioned that Edmond Memorial lost their first 2 games to Edmond North and to Edmond Santa Fe, both by identical 9-6 scores. Got things on the right track, beating Del City 26-14 before knocking off Norman last week 49-10. Memorial plays at Eisenhower next week. Meantime, Midwest City plays at Norman. Here's Antonio Brown inside the 40 to about the 38-yard line, and that well could be the final play of this third quarter.
Nice burst of speed there right when he got beyond the line of scrimmage, and 2 Bulldogs converged. But look at the pickup there. The entire Midwest City team is looking to the sideline, and I think the coaches are saying, let's get a breather and keep this drive going into the fourth quarter.
Final seconds tick off the clock here, and we will go to the fourth quarter. 28-20. Memorial on top. We'll be right back.
Killers wore Saudi police uniforms.
Number so far, 100 plus killed, 200 plus injured.
An elite FBI team sent to a hostile country. Now they are the target.
Let's go.
The Kingdom.
My house. Party's over, bud. Hit it. What's going on?
Me and my bro Spicy Chicken Crisp are just entertaining.
That friend of yours is a menace.
Why, because he's a buck on the value menu like me?
Where is that punk?
Upstairs.
With Daddy's little girl? Ugh. Spicy!
She was hitting on me.
New, the Spicy Chicken Crisp for $1. Heating up the BK value menu.
I'm tired. I love doodling. I'm tired.
Bad commercial? Well, Francis Tuttle, it's good. We'll prepare you for an in-demand career doing something you want to do. Francis Tuttle, it's about choice.
Welcome back, everybody. Fourth quarter time. Well, this is where you find out what you're made of right here. The Bombers, who didn't have the ball much in the first half, have owned it so far here in the second half. Moore rolls to throw. Pass complete. First down to the far side. As they get it out there to number 18. That is Kevin Gaddis as we go down to Rod Thompson.
Hey, guys, going to be interesting in this fourth quarter right there. Midwest City has done the job with this drive, kind of taking the emotion out of the game. Edmond was making play after play, emotion really high. It's going to be interesting to see. Both coaches' keys to the game was to control the clock. Midwest City is driving. If they can score, be interesting. Which key to the game will stand? Who will be able to control the clock? Because that could be the one that walks away and win this ball game. Back up to you, Steve.
Ball comes loose on the turf. Bombers are able to get right back on top of it. Antonio Brown is on the scene to make the recovery.
Well, that is so frustrating. You're already in a second long, and now you're a first down, and now you got second long. Just a wasted play.
Moore has gone the whole way at quarterback. And look out into the secondary.
Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown again with the carry. Flanders, for his part, 87 yards, but he's only carried the ball 9 times.
Yeah, you know, Brown has really been the workhorse, especially here in the second half, and he's doing extremely well. Good job getting through there and just running north-south, forcing the secondary to come up and make the tackle.
6 foot 175. And it's Brown once again for a yard or 2.
That's going to be really close, and still got a lot of time left, and I think you have to make a decision on what you want to do here. Probably, given a couple of woes they've had in the kicking game tonight, it's maybe not too difficult of a call to make, but you're going to get a timeout, make sure they get the right play called, and talk it over.
10:18 left to go. The Bombers take a timeout, and so will we. We will continue our coverage. 28-20. Bulldogs on top. We'll be right back.
Universal Pictures and Morgan Creek present
It's time to take back the school.
a comedy about teaming up
Go, Sydney!
to beat the elite.
I'm the last person you want to mess with. No, you're the first.
Amanda Bynes is Sydney White.
Hey, Terrence. Bye, Terrence.
Introducing the biggest thing to happen in sports. Sports Monday, only in the Monday Oklahoman. Only Sports Monday gives you statewide and coast-to-coast coverage of the weekend's games, plus event ratings for the week ahead. Only Sports Monday puts you in the press box, on the sidelines, and in the locker room, with exclusive features only insiders know. Get your sports complete and compact to grab and go. Get Sports Monday every Monday, only in the Oklahoman. Now you're ready.
Bulldog cheerleaders. Right now, they like the way things are going. But Midwest City is knocking the door. Bulldogs lead it by 8, 10-18 to play. 4th and short. Didn't need much, didn't get a whole lot, but...
Well, I don't know, that's going to be close.
That's a spot that is maybe favorable towards Edmond. And that is going to be very close. I thought he had a little bit more than that.
Yeah, he appears to be short.
Bulldog players are looking at it. Standing right over the football there is number 42, Logan Thomas. He's eyed it up, and he says it's not enough.
Yeah, they needed to get to the 19-yard line or very close to that hash, and they appear to be short by about the length of a football. And you know, last night we saw a huge 4th down play.
Yes.
You know, Westmore going in 4th down and less than that, 6 inches. and not able to convert against Putnam City, and Putnam City had a passing game suddenly come alive.
Yeah.
They go down and win a football game. Big defensive stand if they didn't get the first down here.
Nope.
Well short.
Well, see where you think the ball should have been spotted. He kind of bounced forward a little bit.
Yeah.
So, linesman right there on top of the play. He's got it marked. Good job. Great stand by that Edmond defense. Still plenty of football to go with 10-13 to play, but Edmond has just run a textbook offense here tonight, doing what they needed to do and getting done what needed to be done. Steve Huff stands hands on top of head right now, wondering what has gone wrong. This potent offense, take away a big run and a kickoff return, been pretty quiet. Edmond defense has had a lot to say about that. Ooh. Cameron Stewart was flying in there like a guided missile.
We called his name 3 or 4 times in the first few plays of the game, and didn't stay in check a little bit. Look at that total rushing. 8 players with rushing yardage, 102 yards. Well, they're spreading it around, aren't they? 6 players with the receptions.
Total team effort. Got a yard on that first down carry. Pete Town, the quarterback. Intercepted. Stewart steps right in front, and he might get to the end zone. Loses it out of bounds. The ball will be spotted at the 1. He went down at about the 4. Lost the football on the way down, fumbled it forward to about the Edmond 1-yard line, and that's a huge turn of events.
Well, and the defense, Midwest City's defense needed to step up on that series. You know, they'd given up a few things here in the game, and they'd let Edmond stay in it. A pass where Town didn't even see Stewart, didn't even see him coming across there. Nice job by Stewart staying in his passing lane, and Town didn't even see him. Picks the ball off and almost in stride going right to the end zone. And then fumbles it out of bounds. Now, if that ball had gone beyond the pylon, that would have been a touchback.
And back to Edmond Memorial.
Yeah, exactly, at the 20-yard line. But Cameron Stewart, 2 huge plays defensively for the Bombers.
Moore is going to keep it, bounces in and rolls into the end zone. Touchdown. And now the flags all come up in unison. That was a thing of beauty. That was like rhythmic gymnastics. He spiked the football, and everybody reached for their flags, and they all went up at once.
You know, and that's one of those things that you just you can't let your emotion get the best of you, and that's exactly what happened right there. And you can't go in. You know, and Midwest City has struggled a little bit with that emotion tonight.
Well, that penalty, because now they are forced to go for 2.
Yeah,
that's a huge penalty.
It is, and that's a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct.
Wow.
And you needed a 2-point conversion in order to tie the game, and which is not easy to get from the 3-yard line, let alone the 18.
Wow. Take a look again. Hopefully we'll let the cameras roll and watch all the flags go. You'll see him spike the ball. No question, that's against the rules in high school football.
Yeah.
Wish we would have had an aerial shot because all 4 flags went up in unison.
Yeah, they sure did.
You can't, you want to say Vershawn Moore should know better than that. He's caught up in the emotion of the game.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he taunted anybody and spiked it in somebody's face. He was just extremely excited about getting into the end zone.
Yeah.
But they needed to go for 2, and instead of going from the 3-yard line, now they'll have to do it, as Tim said, from the 18. This to try and tie it. Trips to the left side. Moore is going to roll that way. Looks, throws, way overthrown. Quarterback is taken down. And what a turn of events there.
Yeah.
28-26, Bulldogs on top. You go to holding on 4th down for Edmond Memorial. They throw an interception that gets returned to the 1. Midwest City gets into the end zone, makes it 28-26. They have to go for 2, but because their player spiked the ball after the touchdown, he's assessed an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. It's a 15-yard penalty on the extra point that has to go from the 18-yard line. 28-26. Bulldogs on top. We'll be right back.
Once again, the people have spoken. Once again, one name ranked highest for outstanding phone service. Once again, one company received a J.D. Power & Associates Award for overall customer satisfaction. And once again, it wasn't the old phone company. Cox Digital Telephone, the phone service people like most. Highest in residential telephone customer satisfaction in the Southwest region for the second year in a row.
Ford High School Game of the Week is brought to you in part by Burger King. Have it your way. Francis Tuttle Technology Center, where it's about choice. Wingstop, the wing experts. The Oklahoman, sports is our turf. And by Cox, your friend in the digital age.
Don't miss Sports Night Oklahoma, an in-depth look at sports from across our state. Tonight following the game, only on Cox Channel 7.
You can see, and after that extra point was missed, and Coach Huff comes back, probably handling the emotion of it better than we are up here. Right above it, looking at his kids saying, hey, you made a great play. You know what you did wrong. I'm not going to berate you over it. And that's one of the things good coaches do.
Memorial returns the kickoff to about the 15-yard line. And we've been saying it for a while now. There's still a long way to go in this game.
Yeah, I mean, 9 minutes and 10 seconds. Midwest City's, they'll score 28 points in that amount of time if they want to. Edmond's got that kind of potential too.
Bulldogs bringing out 1st and 10 from their own 15. We have had more stops of play here in the second half. That's going to be an equipment timeout for the quarterback, Pete Town. They'll give him some time to get that taken care of.
Official timeout for the equipment.
That's where your equipment manager becomes very valuable when it's the quarterback's helmet.
Yeah, or somebody's going to give up his hat, one or the other.
And Coach Walker, he's getting involved in this. Talking with Mark Walker earlier today, and I said, are you the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator? He said, I coach the coaches.
Yeah.
He oversees what's going on, and that's a sign of a lot of great coaches is you make sure that everybody else has what they need to get things done, and you delegate all that stuff. Running play up the middle. In a strange way, that could have fired up Midwest City too.
Sure.
Then you play the card, well, everybody's against us. We just got a little excited. Now we got to go out and, be super tough on defense. And first 2 plays from scrimmage here, they certainly have been.
Yeah. Yeah, these guys, they're so capable out on the field. It's just you don't want to let your emotion get the best of you. And that's much easier said than done. When you're looking forward to a game all week long and then you get out here and things aren't always going your way, you just got to really stay poised. And the defensive play by Midwest City there with that interception going back in and setting up the touchdown, that has gotten this defense back on track.
Roll cannot get to the corner. Great pursuit by the Bomber defense. Number 33 in there, Jordan Tyner, one of the leading tacklers on the team. And you can understand if the Bulldogs are a little hesitant to put the ball in the air. But the play that has worked for them all night long is a little bootleg and slipping one of the running backs out of the backfield. Now we have whistles once again. 25-second clock is expired. Pete Town again has some helmet issues. Now he's coming back with the same helmet. What's that all about?
No, I don't know.
Here we go, 3rd and 15. Town going up top. Defender is there, and he's got an interception. The receiver never could get off the line of scrimmage. He was running a streak route, and the cornerback read it all the way, and he streaked faster.
Yeah, Dominique Barnes-Carn, and you can see not quite getting, well, really didn't have an open receiver. That was one of those balls that maybe could have gone a little further towards the sideline, and now Midwest City once again is in business. And it's just deflating. You know, it's deflating when you give the ball up, even if you throw it downfield where it's almost like a punt. But 3 turnovers now for the Bulldogs. 2 of them here in consecutive series.
Bombers driven straight back. Antonio Brown is driven back. Big number 98 in there. That's Zach Wilson, 6'3", 300-pound senior D tackle.
6'3", 300 pounds. Wow.
I'm going to say that this is, you know, we had a great game last night, but I don't think we have matched the intensity that we have seen in this game tonight.
Oh, yeah.
The emotion.
Both sides of the ball.
Pass is caught. Taken down to about the 30-yard line. Eric Jackson on the reception.
Gain of 10 on the play. We'll bring up 3rd down and 3.
I was about to say this is a big 3rd down, but I don't know if it really matters right now. You're going to have 2 downs to go in. I mean, Midwest City is still down by 2 points. They've got to take this in. And
Flanders is the back with more option, keep. Looked like there was something there, but the Bulldogs, once again, over there is Zach Wilson, among others, for that Bulldog defense.
Yeah, and that's more trying to make a play. And probably had Flanders out there. There was nobody covering the back, and decided to take the ball up and just go north-south with it and doesn't gain any yardage. So you can see, you can't see Flanders there, but there was nobody picking him up. And doesn't mean somebody couldn't have from the corner there, but he tried to take it up inside. And once again, the big man brings him down.
Midwest City takes the timeout. They want to talk about it with 6:09 to go. You mentioned, you know, it was 2 down territory, but they probably thought they were going to get 1 or 2 yards in the play. That's going to leave 4th and almost 3 if they're to get this 1st down. Hey, if you forgot to set your DVR for tonight's game, no worries. Cox has you covered with On Demand. All you have to do is hit the On Demand button on your remote and select Channel 1. Go to Cox Local and find all the high school football games that we've done so far this season. On Demand, another reason more customers choose Cox as their entertainment provider. And then coming up after tonight's game, don't forget, of course, Mike Wolf, Curtis Fitzpatrick for Sports Night Oklahoma. Friday nights, you can always count on all the football scores from around the state and a look ahead to Saturday's college game. Sports Night Oklahoma coming up right after we are finished here this evening. 4th and almost 3 coming up for Midwest City. And again, I mentioned the fact that Flanders has only carried the ball still just the 9 times on the night. Big play in the football game right here. Moore, option right, has the 1st down as he's taken down finally at about the 17-yard line.
One of the things I've liked about this game is both teams, when it's gotten down to crunch time, they just said, we're going to go run our offense. You know, there wasn't a whole lot of, I mean, they've thrown a little bit of misdirection in there, some fakes here or there, but for the most part, they've just said, we're going to put our guys and see if we can get a hat on you, move you, and get the yardage that we need.
Look at the 1st downs in the contest. That's another 1st down for Flanders getting into the secondary. Tim Flanders, another 1st down inside the 10 for Midwest City.
You watch him break tackles on that play. You have really, you know, and he's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's good size. I mean, you could see how the strength of his leg move. They breaks 1, 2, a little bit of a hand there. Just, you got to trip him up. Number 20 is 5'10", 195. A lot of that strength is in his legs.
He breaks just 1 tackle and you start holding your breath if you're on the other side. Here's Brown on a reverse.
Antonio Brown on the carry.
He'll get it down to about the 6-yard line. You go back to Flanders and you talk about, well, anytime he touches the ball, you've heard that cliche so many times. That's really true about Tim Flanders.
Yeah.
5 minutes left to go. Bombers trying to regain the lead. fake it. Moore keeps it into the line. He'll get down to about the 4. Ball looked like it may have come loose.
Yeah, he fumbled it. Midwest City got back on it.
Wow.
Well, that would have been something. Heads up play there, but it looks like number 72.
Looked like it. Can't really see. It's already out. There it is. 70.
70, yeah. Stephen Salisbury. Heads up play.
3rd down goal from the 3. Moore, option right. Flanders taken down short of the goal line. See where they spot that football. It's going to be right at the 1.
Now this is an interesting call because you're down 2. Do you have the confidence in your kicking game to go ahead and kick it and get the lead, or confidence in your offense and leave it in their hands to go score? Maybe worth talking about.
Keegan Grooms with the touchdown saving tackle. Bombers take a timeout. That is their last timeout in the contest. We will do the same. 28-26. Bulldogs on top. We'll be right back.
Universal Pictures and Morgan Creek present
It's time to take back the school.
a comedy about teaming up
Go, Sydney!
to beat the elite.
I'm the last person you want to mess with. No, you're the first.
Amanda Bynes is Sydney White.
Hey, Terrence. Bye, Terrence.
What if your phone had only the stuff you really need? Unlimited local calls, caller ID, call waiting, while saving $120 a year. Well, great savings and great service are here. Join the over 2 million Cox Phone customers nationwide who've made the choice to save. Get Cox Telephone for just $19.99 for a year. Call now and get free installation. Everything you could want for your phone from one great provider. Cox, your friend in the digital age.
There you see it. Goal line camera right on the money.
There's the plane.
It's the plane that the football must cross.
What were those signals he was giving them?
He was showing you the plane.
That's right.
Steve Huff has made the call. 4th and goal from the 1. This for the lead with 3:49 left. Moore keeps it himself and gets into the end zone for the touchdown. Bombers on top.
Nice second effort there. I thought for a moment Edmond may keep him out of there, but Moore just pushed his way in and giving the Bombers the lead. 3:44 to go in the game.
Wow. Fake it to Flanders. He's been a decoy almost all night. There's the goal line camera right on the money. And we got the touchdown for you as the Bombers go on top 32-28. And now for the extra point, which has been strangely entertaining most of the night.
Yeah, you don't see too many of them where the ball's set at the 18.
And they're going to go for 2. Throw it back, and it's dropped. And it will not count, so it's 32-28.
With 3 minutes and 44 seconds left in the ballgame.
Lesson well learned by Vershawn Moore as he got in the end zone that time and did not spike the football. Do you want to run that by me while they went for 2 there? Just
well, if up by 5 doesn't really do any good. You get up by 6, at least you force them to have to convert an extra point.
Yep.
And that keeps you in it. So now if Edmond comes back and scores, a field goal will still tie the game for you if they go up by 7. So being up by 4 or 5 doesn't do you too much good.
32-28. Let's look and see what the Edmond Memorial Bulldogs have the rest of the way after they finish this contest tonight. They have to go down to Lawton, which is never fun. They get Westmore at home, travel to Choctaw. They get the Putnam City Pirates at home, and then have to go play at UConn. Tough schedule the rest of the way for the Bulldogs. For Midwest City, they have to play at Norman next week. They get Eisenhower at home, at Westmore, Choctaw, and what right now looks like it might be a showdown for the district title against Putnam City. You know, it worked out last year where we had Week 10, 9-0 Westmore and 9-0 Norman on the final week of the season. We may have something similar this year for you. Kickoff return for the Bulldogs, who find themselves trailing now. Kick returner will not go down, and more extracurriculars, and I think I just saw a punch thrown, if I'm not mistaken, in the middle of all that.
No flags.
As we said, this has been a very emotional game.
Throwing punches has always surprised me a little bit when you got a guy wearing a helmet and a face mask right in front of you and you don't have gloves on.
Well, what's even more surprising is sometimes that happens and then the combatants will take their helmets off.
Yeah. And if you pull that off and start using that as a weapon, you get kicked out of games pretty quickly.
Steve Huff trying to get to 5-0 in the season. Has the upper hand right now, 32-28 with 3:35 to go. Last two tosses by Pete Town have been interceptions. But the last full quarter has been played on this side of the field. Bulldogs need to answer. Bombers show blitz. Good protection. Town has lots of running room. Makes a nice move and a good open field tackle there by number 30 for the Midwest City Bombers. Coming up with a stop there is Emmanuel Maxwell.
Yeah, that was a great play, and you had it right on, Steve. The Bulldogs did a great job picking up the blitz there, and Town pulls it up, and that's a good game.
First down pickup of 6, nearly 7. Morales with the carry. Penalty flag on the far side. We'll wait and see what that comes to be as he's near first down yardage. Sports Night Oklahoma coming up as soon as we're done here. Illegal shift against Edmond Memorial. That'll likely push them back as he was near first down yardage, so they'll replay the down and make it 2nd and 9. Coming up next week, of course, we already told you about the contest that we have coming your way. That'll be the Heritage Hall Chargers and the Millwood Falcons. That'll be an interesting contest Thursday right here on the Cox Channel, and then the Battle of Highway 97, Sapulpa and the Sandites from Sand Springs. What's a Sandite, Tim?
I don't know. It's a looked like some kind of a soldier from Sand Springs.
Oh, big sack. Jordan Tyner coming on the blitz. Pete Town took exception to the way that he was brought down. Take a look again. No escape right here.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that was just a good defensive play.
And looks like somebody has called a timeout. And that would be Edmond Memorial. 2:32 left. You know, Coach Walker's thinking if I punt it away to him, A, they could score. B, we may not get it back. Don't forget, Cox Channel is your place to catch some of your all-time old TV shows. Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. It's Heart to Heart. And then don't forget Gunsmoke, also right here on the Cox Channel. Well, one timeout left for Edmond Memorial. You got 3rd and 19. You obviously will have to go for it. You've got 2 opportunities to pick up 19 yards. You don't have to get them all in this play in particular.
Well, this is exactly what they did at the end of the first half. They had a little over 2 minutes to go. They took the ball and they went right down the field. They did not face a 3rd and 19, however.
Right.
And there's enough time. Well, one timeout really hurts you, because if you had 2 timeouts, you could probably afford to punt the ball here. But the thing that scares you is putting it back in Midwest City's offense hands. I mean, there's just too many weapons over there, and you're just going to have to see if you can pick up at least half of this, get yourself back to the original line of scrimmage, and then you're still on 3rd down and long, but a little bit more manageable.
Out of the shotgun, empty backfield. Low snap. Good job by Town just to pick it up. Looking downfield, and he's going to be taken down and sacked. Number 99, Russell Brown, 6 foot 270. And Town has not had much time here in the second half.
And, you know, he was moving around there a little bit, but there was time to throw the ball into the pattern. But the secondary did a nice job covering all those receivers up. You know, if you get 4 seconds, if they can get to 4 Mississippi, you're generally going to get tackled back there. So
it's great effort from a guy that's 6 foot 270, headlong dive to make sure that he secures that sack. And now it's ball game for Edmond Memorial. And not before we have more whistles. And a final timeout taken by Edmond Memorial. 1:48 to play. And it all comes down to this 4th and 23 deep in Bulldog territory. Don't forget, you can have the fastest internet in Oklahoma, and you can add any Cox product, and Cox will donate $10 to the school of your choice. Go to cox4school.com for more information. Act now and get Cox high-speed internet for $10 off per month for 6 months. Another great promotion from Cox, working with the community, bringing you high school football, and also helping you donate to your favorite school. Fans on both sides. Midwest City, the Edmond Memorial sideline. And you know, Tim, we're seeing something interesting here again because they're lining up in punt formation.
Yeah, and you know, they took a timeout to make that decision. And with 1:48 to go, you may be just hoping to get a turnover, but if you're Midwest City, you're going to say, I'm not going to get near this ball. Just let them go ahead and kick it.
Nice kick. Nobody back there to receive it. He's going to help his punting average right here.
Yeah, stop the clock. Pick it up quick.
All the way down to the 22. 58-yard punt. And I'm sure a lot of the Edmond fans are going, what? Why did we just give them the ball back, give it away? Again, it came up last night with the point differential. And should teams end up tied in district standings, it will go to a point differential. Of course, you can't have a two-way tie because then whoever won the game played between those two teams. But if you have multiple teams tying for even third place, second place, the team with the better point differential, plus or minus a maximum of 15 in any game, you know, it could come back to help the Jaguars, who went ahead and punted it away last night. And we see Edmond Memorial do it again here tonight.
Well, both these teams were at 15. They were at a plus 15 as far as that point differential goes. You know, it's just, you hate to think you're conceding the ball game. You want to think maybe your defense can come in here and force a turnover of some sort. But with a 25-second clock and you've got a minute 48 to go.
No timeouts.
No timeouts. So they're going to be able to wind this all the way down, you know, to at least 10 seconds or so. If they use the clock wisely, because
yeah, they should be able to run it out without much circumstance. Great effort by Midwest City to seemingly come back and win this football game on the road. And you can't say enough about the job that the Bulldogs did here in leading and controlling a lot of this contest here this evening, but apparently going to come out on the short end of the scoring stick.
Yeah, they've really fought hard. Really impressed with the way that the Bulldogs played. You know, Midwest City, I think you can see obviously a very talented team. I think if there may be a chink in their armor, it may be that they let things get away from them once in a while when they shouldn't. But, you know, we've seen them in 2 hard-fought football games, and they've appeared to have won both of those. So they are going to be a team that nobody is going to want to play come playoff time.
Snap the ball one more time, and that will do it for this contest here tonight. Great football game between 2 very talented squads. Midwest City once again more or less getting out of their own way because they were self-destructing in a lot of ways. But talented teams find a way to win ball games, and that's certainly what the Bombers did here tonight. 32-28 our final, as Midwest City improves to 5-0 on the season. The Bulldogs will fall to 2-3, 1-1 in district play. And Edmond will get ready now to travel to Lawton to take on Lawton Eisenhower next week, while Midwest City will play at Norman. Thought I saw Tommy Griffith walk through the group there. I'd heard he was the assistant coach now, the former basketball coach at OCS, and John Marshall.
Man, that was a really good football game, really well played. And you mentioned it, Steve. These two teams are probably going to see them at the end of the year, and because I think it's going to be very difficult for anyone to get through this district undefeated. I really do. I think you're going to have a cluster of teams. You may have somebody with one loss, maybe two, but it's going to be tough to go through it undefeated.
All right, let's go down to Rod Thompson. Rod?
Coach, big win for your team. You kept your composure, came back to get this win. What was going through your mind and how your players feel, and how do you feel about this victory?
Well, I think one thing that's going through my mind right now is relief. You know, we made just enough plays in the second half. Defense kind of came to life, made some plays. There's a big interception by Cameron Stewart down there. Offensively, showed some signs in the second half that we were going to come alive a little bit. That was one of the problems in the first half. And also penalties. We had less penalties in the second half, which definitely helped us out. But, you know, it's a great feel. I'm really happy for the kids.
Big win for your team. We've been talking, especially Steve and Tim, talking about this district. Some tough games going to be in this district. This is another tough one, so you expect this in this district.
There's no doubt. I've said this probably 10 times this week, just talking to people on the radio and just people in general. This district, I think, from top to bottom, any given game, I think anybody can beat anybody, and you know, it's a dogfight all the way through.
All right, Coach, congratulations on a big win, and good luck on your next game.
Appreciate it. Thanks for covering us.
All right, back over to you, Steve.
All right, final score once again, 32-28. Midwest City stays unbeaten. We'll come back with a wrap-up for you right after this.
Cox is the fastest internet in Oklahoma, period. No one else even comes close. Music, movies, and more are instantly yours. Experience everything you love to do online, faster. And it's all delivered over a state-of-the-art fiber network built specifically for Oklahoma by Cox. We do it for everyone. We do it for you. Cox is your friend in the digital age.
My life is pretty busy. That's why I decided to simplify my life by bundling all my digital services with one company, Cox Communications.